Hey everybody, welcome back. We're at episode 296 on the CAF update, and here at the CAF Plus channel, we've had a lot of fun so far this week. We only had one show last night with Gwen hosting the Dueling Dealers of Comic Art, all animation, animated related characters. It was a good show. I got to sit in the producer's chair for that one, and it was a different angle for me, but it was a lot of fun watching her do her thing. And Tatiana and Matt and Jiggy were all very supportive to make that show work out really well. So, and everybody in the chat was very well mannered, I guess, throughout that whole thing. It was a good time. And I have to thank Lance Suarez for picking up that piece of art for Gwen as well. That was a very nice gesture. So the big week is coming up, right? We have San Diego Comic Con next week. So we got a few things that we'll be able to talk about related to that. And I can also tell you that we've got a few things to talk about, and we just had IC3 last weekend as well. So it's been a pretty eventful few days here at CAF HQ. But so we're going to get things started off tonight with a heritage recap, because last week we had the most recent signature heritage auction out there, and it was monumental in certainly a few different ways. And so we'll get that started. I've got a few gentlemen in the green room there. But what is this? Jason says he's been telling people I was traveling since I haven't returned their messages. Are you like my secretary now, Jason? Is that what's going on, man? I have no idea. I don't remember. I feel like, I bet you I know whose message you're talking about. I've been busy. I've had a busy couple of days. So, but yeah, I'm back. I'm back in business here for today until I head out west. But let's get this heritage recap thing going on. I've got a few guys here, so let's get Dino and Dan and Nick all
Yo,
in
yo, yo.
Hello, friends.
here. We're gonna get Nick above me so that when I bring in any comments, we'll hide my mug. How are you guys doing?
Hey, Nick. Hey, Dan.
Hey guys, good to see you.
We're doing
Good.
good. We're excited. We were talking
Yeah.
about sometimes being a winner on Heritage is not winning anything and overpaying before we came on the air. So,
That's right. Staying
Well,
discreet.
it's a big
Congratulations to all
auction.
the winners out there.
Right.
absolutely.
You got to have some money to spend at San Diego if you're going out there. So, it's I can get why some people might hold back a little bit. There's so many different places you can put your money these days. And certainly with this auction, I mean, looking at it at least before it started, just the mere fact that I didn't turn my phone off. Here we go. The mere fact that there wasn't even 700 lots this time around. I wasn't expecting to see the numbers that they were going to reach as far as like overall sales figures. But I mean, they still crossed what $14 million for the overall auction, which was pretty impressive. And the one thing I noted this time around, overall between the comic art and the comic book signature auctions for the weekend, this is like one of those times where the art more than doubled what the books were getting. And I think all of us remember back in the day during signature auctions where the books were always double
We were
what
the
the art was up.
stepchild of the auction.
Times have changed.
Yeah, yeah. And also, we have
well,
a new record. I mean, the Iron Man splash supplanted the famous Secret Wars 8 page as the highest price Heritage has sold for a pen and ink piece. Everything has been Frazetta paintings and some other things, but this is the one that tops that 3.4 million denim page.
It really was amazing that hit that number. I was talking to Tom Fish before, and he was asking me what do I think it's going to go for. And I was like, look, it could end up at 1.3 million or it could end up at 2 million plus. And he was like, I think you're way off. It's going to go way higher. I was like, well, I'm not bidding on it. So whatever happens, happens. And it went for 3.8. To answer Marcus's question real quick, I'm on time because the show's at 9:00. It's hard for me to make a 7:00 show. 9:00 shows I'm usually on time for. But every time I do a show with you, Bill, he's always asking the same question.
I know.
On time. And then number one Marvel fan said that Luke's cutoff hand today from Empire just went for $3.7 million.
Oh, you mean a top auction?
You're only going to get one cutoff hand, just like you're only going to get one piece of art.
Wow.
Well, I'll say this. A $4 million piece of art selling isn't completely unique. We've seen it happen with Frazetta's too, but there was a really staggering amount of material that went in over 75K.
Mhm.
And, like Bill said, this was the smallest heritage auction that they've had in I don't know, in at least
At least 4
maybe
years.
2 or
Right,
3.
around 2022 is when they started having, the 700 plus signature
Yeah.
auctions going up
Huge.
over
The
800.
results were as strong as anything I've seen. This was as
Mhm.
strong as any heritage auction you'll look at, you know?
Actually, I think they were stronger. I think they
I
were
think-
stronger because there were less lots. I
I
think
absolutely agree. I think less lots mean more attention to the ones that come, particularly the big
Of-
lots.
a few things still fell between the cracks, a few things, and a few pieces had been, we were talking about this earlier, a few pieces have been around the block more than once in auctions. But yeah, man, I think that it was really, really strong. And I put in a few bids and I walked away, and whatever I won, I won. I lost one piece that I should have probably watched live, but work comes first.
That is true.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, Mark Fong. Put Mark Fong's note up there, Bill.
where is it? It costs some. Thank you, Mark. Usually, yeah, that's a good one. That's definitely a good one. But yeah, as it relates to the Iron Man piece, though, Kezra and I talked about it. And, he asked me, and I said 3.5 at the time. And then
Wow.
last week when I
Yeah.
was talking with Chris Snork on the stream, I said, "What do you think it's going to go for?" He didn't have an idea, and the only thing I said to him, because I was afraid to publicly say it, I said it's more valuable than a first black costume for Spidey. I mean, come on, it is. It's freaking
Yeah.
Iron Man first
It's the
appearance.
first
The cover doesn't
appearance of
exist.
Iron Man. Yeah.
If you're gonna say it's worth something, it is worth more than that piece. So if that, so did it mean it was going to sell for that more than that? Not necessarily, but
And the question
I'm
also
happy that it
prompts
did.
is that if the cover does appear, 5 years, 10 years down the line, does that mean that the cover is just worth ungodly amount more, or does that devalue the splash because it
The
doesn't?
first.
Oh,
The first.
yeah.
I think it's
It's
ungodly.
gotta be.
I agree with Dan. It's going to be
Yeah.
ungodly. I want to add that I think one thing that happened was Heritage were brilliant in marketing this book, breaking it up over the last few years. They started in pieces. And I will say they were being salespeople. I don't know anything for a fact, but what I will say is that I think who does your shows on the Mondays? Is it Joe? Who does the Heritage preview shows usually?
I mean, when
Yeah,
I do them,
Manarino.
Joe does.
Manarino is
Joe.
usually,
Yeah. So I think Joe on one of your shows said, well, we don't know if we're going to get all the pages. They're giving us the owner's giving us 1 page a quarter, and as long as he's happy with the results, he'll give us another page. But I
that's
think
what they
the
said,
way
yeah.
they built it up by jumping around this and building towards it,
I think
they
that's right.
really marketed it well to get to that 3.9 or whatever it was $1 million. Had they just released it a while ago, it may not have, but it was just like the buildup of, okay, this is your last chance and this is the best page. So,
Right.
and
No,
again,
it was one of the right. I mean, remember there was like 6 or 8 absolute Batman covers, right, in this auction. That's not the way you want to see it go. The way that worked out with the Iron Man pages was perfect. The fact that it was metered out over 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I
Best for
think that
last,
they
get the best for last.
maximized the value on it. I mean, whether
Well,
it
I'll
was
throw
all the
this out.
consigner or a mutual decision, it
I
worked out
think
well.
that the Iron Man story is something unique because it is very historical. And to get someone to really go to the mat for the 5th greatest piece, the 5th greatest page from the story, it really helps that you don't know if the best and the second best are ever going to come out. So
Yeah.
in that regard, it was
True.
very brilliant. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I was very surprised because for something like the TOS 39, okay, you don't throw everything out. But I was really shocked that Heritage decided to go with so many Schomburgs in one auction.
That
so
was
many
surprising,
Rose
too.
That
Eight.
surprised me
Hey,
too. That actually gave me false hope. That gave me false hope that I might be able to get one.
And
Yeah, we'll talk over one of
theoretically,
them, sure.
look,
Yeah.
conventional wisdom, the way that these things would have gone 10 years ago when you saw a whole pile of a certain artist or a certain example come up, the big shots would fight over the nicest couple of examples. There'd be a few really nice ones that would have some competition. And then there would be like a few falling between the cracks. And, on the Schusters, on the Williamsons, on the Schomburgs, you did not see that happen very much. I theorized that, well, there must be like a couple of rich guys who are just buying all of them up for their collections. But I spoke to Joe Manorino after the auction closed. He's telling me it's all different guys.
Two
So
quick thoughts
they
that came
never
through my
stop.
mind. One is, I mean, these are off the wall thoughts, but one is the SpaceX IPO made millionaires over and billionaires of many people who are in space travel scientists, rocket scientists, and maybe they were fascinated by comic books and heroes like Iron Man. I wonder if that played into at least some of the dollars coming in there. Second is, how this will be perceived. Again, we always look 5, 10 years from now. I mean, are we going to continue to see some of these really marquee pieces really drive into the market? That, I mean, to start, usually it takes one to kind of break the ice, and then the rest of them can feel comfortable or bring
I think
something.
you're seeing a little bit of that, but also, I don't know who watches Shark Tank here, but like that guy, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary,
Yeah.
there was a $14 million or $17 million card that sold in the last 6 months where he and two other people bought it as an investment. I know the person who brokered the deal, who advised them on it. You're seeing a lot more of that too these days, where people are just buying in together to get something nobody else has. And they may not even love it, but they just love the idea of the investment and to say, we share this. Look, I will say
End of the day, there's a lot more money, out there than there ever has been before. I mean, Dan, you were absolutely right when you mentioned the idea that, if you'd see 8 similar pieces come out of Heritage and you'd have 2 big fish, or the main guys who you're used to going after the top 2 pieces, and then the 6 other pieces would end up going a little bit lower. That was the state of major auctions, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 12 years ago. It's just not that way anymore. And yeah, and as soon as you said that, it's like that is exactly how it used to be. Just a couple pieces would always go really high, whether it was a splash or a first appearance, whatever it was that would make the difference, and everything else was middling at the end of the day.
I have one question for the audience and for you guys. Who thinks that the Avengers, whatever, Doomsday announcements started happening again last week, and people being reminded that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Dr. Doom played any piece in that? I don't think it did. I'm just curious if anybody else thinks it did. Okay.
Yeah, I honestly don't think that the films have any real leverage over the people who are buying this art, especially at the high dollar value. It might encourage some looky-loos from people who don't have money to play, but from the people who are buying the big ticket items, they're making informed purchases one way or another, even if it's asking somebody at Heritage, is this a good buy? Is this a good investment, or whatever it is. I don't think that the films have as much other than maybe manipulating us.
Well, they did at the beginning of the pandemic.
Right?
I think the announcement did show that when Marvel went through their reorg and they decided to focus on fewer and bigger projects, that they will continue to be a force in the cinema and the theater world for years and decades to come, hopefully. And that, I think, would be a fear if they weren't able to kind of continue to populate, blockbuster movies. I think Doomsday is going to be one of those big cultural events, just like Infinity War was. And I think that would help the hobby overall, because it means it's something that could bring in attention to those that aren't necessarily in the comic or even the, collectibles industry hobby, that they'll love these movies and hopefully maybe look at some of the collectibles themselves.
Right. Nope.
We're also in an era where I think one collector we all know went for a large Weapon X page, a splash page similar to this, like very, very notable one, and sold, I don't know, 24 pieces to get there. This doesn't necessarily have to be a whale of a collector. This could be some sort of big fish, to be sure, but they're paying for this by sacrificing a good part of a very very good collection. But it's not like they're just sitting on 3.8 million ready to spend here. There's some maneuvering going on in terms of collector movement from their portfolio.
I need to respond to one thing from Marcus. Marcus, why would I move to Burbank? Now I get to be the world's tallest midget in New Jersey, New York. I'm the biggest publisher that in New Jersey, New York. That makes me the world's tallest midget.
That is one way to look at the move to Burbank for Marvel. But yeah, why don't we start talking about some of the pieces?
All
At
right.
the end of the day, we know that the money's there, the collectors are there, the base is growing. When I was when you think back, I mean, we might look back at the time of the Lucas Museum and the announcement in 2018 that they were going to be in California. I remember they were looking around in different places. I think when $1 billion was set aside to build a museum, I think that's when our market space got a little bit of got more eyeballs on it than we expected. And it is around the even though that's 2 years before the pandemic, or maybe a year and a half, based on the announcement, that's about the time when the prices started increasing. And I think that all that stuff still ties into where we're headed. I think, I mean, there's a big panel in Hall H related to the Lucas Museum, so they're just bringing more and more and more attention on the narrative art. So I mean, they put out a lot of videos in the last week or two showing some of the pieces they've got, and it's really cool that they're not just focusing on pen and ink comic book or strip art. We're seeing fine art pieces, Rockwell's, and it's going to be amazing. And I do think that we're going to see this space, this collectible space, transform even more over the next couple of years as well. So yeah, it's exciting. So let's see. I don't know why I was going to load this. I was going to load up the Iron Man piece first, but we already talked about that, so we can move past that. So Nick, I think I have your pieces to talk about first. So you good with that?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, this went for an F load of money. And I got to tell you, the thing that surprised me about this cover selling, it is one of the worst comic stories ever told. Not even one of the worst crossovers ever told, but it is absolutely one of the worst comics that ever came out. And I'm being harsh, and I'm hardly ever this harsh. But when you have a comic where the Beyonder is on the boat, this is so bad that this was burned into my mind. When you got the Beyonder on a boat with women fawning all over him and him being fat from eating so much, and they're like fawning all over him, telling them how much they love him and how great looking he is, and then he reads their mind and find out that they want somebody built, and he magically becomes built again. I mean, this thing was the cover is beautiful.
I think we're getting off topic here.
Yeah,
it's an amazing.
The surprise is that it broke $100,000 in my opinion. 150, but 250. Oh my God! Listen, it's a beautiful cover. It's a beautiful cover. You got Wolverine front and center with Captain America. It just went for a lot more than I thought it would.
Well, look, I knew it was going to break 100,000. I did not think it was going to hit $250,000. I didn't detest Secret Wars 2 as much as some people, but I also acknowledged that it was not a great story, not a great art, not terribly notable. And I would go so far as to say this cover is probably the nicest piece of art associated with the whole 12-issue miniseries. But it's still a Byrne Austin, great cover, great characters. It's got all the flair, I've seen some appraisers talk about these Chinese reproductions, and they say the object has the form but not the soul. This has the form of a great Byrne Austin vintage X-Men cover, Avengers cover, crossover cover. So I'm not shocked that it went for 250.
Yeah, and you and I are on the same page where I thought it would break 100 to 150. I thought that's where it was going to max out, 100 to 150. But listen,
I was with Nick on this. I was with Nick's appraisal. I think it's about $100,000 too much, but that's just because I read the book like he did.
Nick, how much does the Secret Wars 2? It's fact it's not of the first 12 issues. It's from the second set. How much did that factor into both the price and maybe the surprise that it went this high?
I think that this definitely, outside of Super Secret Wars #8, if that ever comes out, outside of that ever coming out, this probably should be the most expensive cover, hands down there. And I think the other covers have gone for like what, $40,000-$60,000 recently. So
but they only have like 1 or 2 characters, or
some of them have 1 or 2 characters.
Yeah.
Some of them have multiple characters. You've got like the one of the Hulk lifting everything, but all the characters are around. And then you have the one that I used to own, which was all butt shots where everybody's flying towards Galactus. But look, that's why I thought this would break 100, maybe go to 150. And I think Dan's hitting something really, really important that I didn't think about. That even though this is right after Byrne Austin X-Men, it's still Byrne Austin in that era. So the people bidding on this are in their mid 50s to mid 60s. So, I mean, whoever got this, they got, arguably, this is the most beautiful Secret Wars cover of them all, with the most going on, the most characters, no butt shots. Yeah, look, I mean, you know, the person who bought this, I imagine, is not selling it anytime soon. And congrats, though, you know.
And let's underscore that for it to go to 250, that means there was at least another bidder that was 240, right? Or two, yeah. So it's pretty heated. It wasn't just one person nostalgic for something like this, a big check.
Exactly.
And Newell, I like pretty faces more than looking at people's butts. That's what's wrong with butts. That's all. I just like pretty faces.
All right, so we got an absolute Batman variant here. I know there were a few of these dropping during the auction. This one for $22,500.
This went for like Jay Lee Hellshock money. Like early, you know, the Hellshock covers go for money, or actually, this went for more than that. It's just a testament to how great Absolute Batman is, how much it's in the zeitgeist. I mean, this is less than 2 years old. And the fact that it went for $22,500 is amazing. It is, again, I mean, the tapestry that Scott Snyder and Kelly Thompson and Jason Aaron and everybody at DC's putting together, the artwork by the interior artist, whether it's Nick Dragotta or anybody else, you know, it's just out of this world, absolutely phenomenal. And it's a strong price, but it is absolutely gorgeous.
I love Jay Lee's stuff. I think this is a wonderful cover. I think he doesn't always knock it out of the park, but he did on this one. Very powerful, very great. But the story isn't Jay Lee. It's Absolute Batman. You know, it's just that hot. There are a bunch of people who show up to these auctions who collect modern stuff, and you can't beat Absolute Batman when it comes to it. Now, whether or not this is the right price, I have no idea. It's so outside of my wheelhouse. But, you know, the Absolute Batman line kind of clinches it. I was speaking to a collector the other day. We were trying to rattle off stuff that would be worth $1 million if it came out. And I said, you know, if you had that first Absolute Batman story with the cover, you know, it would be huge numbers. And he was taken aback because, you know, he was an old timer, still is. But it's all about the Absolute Batman. It has its audience. It's not us. We're on a different branch of the tree. But for a whole bunch of collectors, this is just the kind of thing that they're looking for.
It is. And that's what I'm saying. And now they've got the animated feature they talked about. And I think, you know, the only real comparison you can make is the Ultimates line, when Marvel launched the Ultimates line back in the early 2000s, the early aughts. And I think the difference here might end up being, with the Ultimates, you had Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley sticking through the over 100 issues because it was Brian's desire to have more issues written and drawn by a team than Stan and Jack on Fantastic Four. That was really important to him. I think the fact that Scott's bring, you know, when Dragotta, when the interior artists need somebody else to come in, they're bringing people in, like Jock came in to do a fill-in issue. I've got a feeling this has got more longevity, especially again the fact that there's going to be an animated movie coming. So, for a while the Ultimate line, the art was going for more than the regular line, but eventually, changing creative teams over and over again, for the most part, with the exception of Ultimate Spider-Man, it lost a little bit of steam. I don't see that happening here at all.
That is probably true, right? I talked to Dragotta at Heroes, and he's constantly surprised by the overwhelming success of how things are going. But hey, it's a wonderful thing. But
Well,
there was
Scott
one of the
Snyder-
other absolute covers did go for about the same 20,600 by Dustin Nguyen, and then there's a drop off. The Kirkham cover went for 12, and Raphael Albuquerque went for under 9. So yeah, good image, and I mean, Lee's got, he's got his followers, and he's got longevity in the business, and that's, I think all those things kind of help his piece reach what it did during the auction.
I think the one last thing that I'll say to this real quick is the surprise is there for everybody. Scott Snyder, he was quoted as saying that he told Dragotta, he was like, expect number 2 to drop to 70,000. And instead it went up in sales. So look, this is great for the industry too. I mean, the one thing that the Absolute line is doing really well, it's bringing in the new audience. This is outside of manga in book markets. The Absolute line is the number one line growing the comic industry readers. So we're blessed. We're really blessed. DC put together some great teams. I had to talk about this.
I did not expect it on anyone else's list, but I know a lot of people were following this one. And
well, actually, the funny thing is that I responded to Dino's email with this, and then after I sent my list, I saw that Dan put this as his number 6 replacement item. I was like, ooh, okay, because if that was in your 5, I would have begged off. But I was like, okay, he made it his backup item.
So you could take it.
That's fine, Nick. I wouldn't deny you a wonderful piece of dynamite art to pull up and talk about.
I mean, look, this is like being a proud parent, and this is kind of like the scene in the TV series where, before you found out how evil Homelander is, where he's like sitting there at the table saying, so what good did everybody do, before Starlight finds out what an evil, manipulative person he is. And if you guys haven't read the comic, I can't say what the story is because it's not PC. Let's just say that it was a team effort. And I never would have expected this to go for this much. And honestly, look, this book came out 19 or 20 years ago. To have this kind of impact, wow. I mean, wow, that is a lot of money. And, this just, I guess, it's fantastic. I just can't believe it.
Well, this is definitely a first appearance kind of deal. You can still find some voice pages out there that are much, 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 much more reasonable than this one. But somebody who specializes in these types of items said, this is the first appearance. This is my boy's example, whatever they told themselves, and made a really wonderful show of it. 68,000, I believe, which is easily a record for anything connected to the boys, anything connected to Derek Robertson, who is an artist I appreciate greatly, and I loved his Transmetropolitan stuff. So I'm just thrilled to see that both the title and the artist are getting a bit of respect.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I thought this was going to break 20,000, maybe 30. And I thought that was going to be a big win for the person who won it, but also for the person who put it in auction. So this is a monster number. It's a monster number. And look, like I said, it's like being a proud parent. I'm looking at it saying, wow, everything we did with the comics, everything that Eric Kripke and Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg and all the writers and all the actors and everybody behind the scenes did just really, really resonated. I mean, look, the comic is great, but the TV series is what brings a wider audience. And you never know. Could actually have been one of the actors or producers who bid on this, or more than one.
Possible.
I
There's
have
just
no
too
inside
many
knowledge.
people there's just too many people throwing 70K around a comic art to really be sure.
There
Exactly.
is. There really is. This one I felt fell between the cracks. And I put in, this is probably the second piece after the name more that I wish I would have gotten. I put in, it went into the final day really cheap. I put in a throwaway bid. I think I might have done 25K or something plus juice. But I thought this was going to go for 60 to 75,000. I mean, this is the issue that is the prelude to Alpha Flight #1. And I just thought, yes, there's no X-Men in here, but it is Alpha Flight, it is Byrne. So it's not a bad price, but I think it definitely fell through the cracks. I really thought this should have gone for 60K or more, but that's just me.Maybe I'm biased.
I kind of thought it sold where it should have gone for.
Yeah, that
I
would be pretty
mean,
heavy, 60 for a non-X-Men
it
superhero.
it has a moment in history. This is the part where they say we're breaking up the team.
Right,
It has the context to be a piece around 50K, but visually it doesn't have enough characters or action or anything to really pump it up. I've seen the worst pages from the Byrne X-Men run go under 20. So for 40, you can still get a
Character.
page. You have choices at this level, and I think that you could for 40K maybe get a few more characters, but it wouldn't have the same context, the same moment or significance. So I think it sold right around where it should have.
And that's why it's good to have these discussions. Like I said, I think I have a bias, so it's a good feel. Look,
I
at
was
the
just
end
gonna
of the day,
say,
everybody's happy.
Byrne X-Men is still strong. I mean, there was a time back then where if you buy a X-Men character page, they said, dealer would say, buy that one, I'll throw in this Byrne X-Men page with no characters, for free. And now these are obviously pulling in some big dollars themselves. So that's a tribute to the strength of the
I don't think I was buying Byrne X-Men pages at that time, Dino. I never got
Neither
an
was
extra
I.
page thrown in. but that sounds like a fun deal.
Well, I remember at some point it was like $1,000 for every X-Men on like Albert had about a dozen on for like between 4,000 and 6,000, and I mean the ones that didn't have any characters would be basically 500 and 600. So those aren't.
See, I came in at the
anymore.
that $2,500 a page level, so I missed out on the better window of buying.
Yeah.
But no, I think that one fell about where it should at the end of the day too. But we know you love your Frank Miller, Nick.
Had to have a Frank Miller, and wow. Look, things fall between the cracks, and I remember it might have been a year and a half ago. There was that Daredevil 168, I think, page where you had Bullseye, Elektra, and Daredevil, different panels. They weren't fighting or anything, but they were in different panels, and that only went for 60 some odd thousand. But this with the Punisher, I mean, I thought this was going to break 80,000. That's really where I thought it was going to land. Maybe 100, but 137. God bless. Because I mean, wasn't this also breakdown? So I know that this is actually Frank Miller pencils, because this was actually drawn and
earlier.
written to be earlier, like around 165, 166, 164.
So it's from that era, but it's still the Miller pencils, not just layouts.
He was doing
and it looks great. Great acting. It looks like Miller. Jansen is there, but he's obviously on the assists. I've given up trying to guess what these things are worth. I'm not in the market, and it's crazy. I've heard of people going 150 for pages that aren't even as nice as this, but those are very rare examples. When something comes up to auction, you get to see how much a bunch of people want to chase something, and you can't be surprised when a good Miller Daredevil page breaks 100K. So
I
didn't
know, but
know
this
it
is
was
without
gonna be
Daredevil, which was my little surprise, you
Yeah,
know?
but Punisher is going to stay relevant. I think
Yeah.
Punisher appears in the Spider-Man flick coming up.
Yep.
So
No, look, at the end of the day, it's a beautiful page. And again, it's pure Miller
I mean,
pencils.
Miller's hard.
And you know what? I said Carl Potts, I thought, did the breakdowns. It was Larry Hama who may have done the breakdowns. I think I got mixed up, so forgive me. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's still Miller pencils. It's still beautiful. And look, at the one thing that until right this second I didn't even remember. This was a controversial story at the time. It's the reason why it didn't happen in 164 to 167, and why it happened later, because you got a kid with a gun. You had a lot going on, so it is memorable. So maybe 137,000 is the right price. Either way, whoever won this has a beautiful page. And Rugrat, in regards to your Ronin pages, that's your call. But considering what the Ronin double page spread just went for,
wow.
If you don't need the money, I would not sell your Ronin pages.
I wouldn't if I had one.
Yeah.
And we're gonna look at those in a little bit here too, because they are on our set here.
Okay.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Yeah. So Dino, we are moving over to your
good.
pieces now. So
all right, 5 people. So the first I started with this one. This was the Marvel Super Special 27 page. I mean, an iconic Star Wars page. So this went for 5 times what page 27 with just Darth Vader. Sold at $50,000, I think, 2 years ago, if I was wrong. This one went 5 times that, but because this was the iconic saber fight between Luke and Darth Vader in the upper right panel. It's the one that everyone wants to kind of recall in terms of tying with the films. I was surprised at that. I mean, obviously, 275 is a lot for a Star Wars page, but then again, Al Williamson gives it some really good artistic creds. It does have Vader, who's going to be always in demand, and that iconic scene. It's a one of one in terms of if you have to pick one page from this novel, this graphic novel, it's hard to beat this one. So I just chose this because I love the art. That Williamson just brings a level of sophistication and depth to his pencils, and it's a great one. It's a shock of a price, but a great page.
I was expecting to see this go for about 200K less. I was shocked. I mean, I knew the Iron Man thing was going to run to the heavens, but I did not see this being the runner-up at the auction. And an interesting note, I mean, you collect the page. This is the published image. This is what some lucky winner gets to blow $250,000 on. But Ron Friends went on Facebook after this auction and said, those are my pencils on that page, not Williamson. I wonder how the new owner of this page feels about that one.
Right. He said he was called in to do the last 10 pages of the book or something like that, but drawn the style of Williamson. That was
wow.
Oh my God, look at what Mark V wrote. Ron Friends and Tom Palmer do a great Al Williamson.
He really does look like Al's stuff. He did a great job with the style. And this is the published page. It's not a knock against it, but it's a tough thing to hear the day after the auction. I'm sure people would have liked to have heard that the day before, but
I'll say this much. Probably the person who's going to hate hearing it the most, and I'm not trying to be funny or tongue in cheek, but the seller, because if there has to be the ability for the buyer to say no if he wants it for the art and not for the iconic moment.
I wonder at this price, it's just, if this thing sold for 10K, who would care? But it's just because this is so ridiculously expensive. But at the same time, this is the published page.
Also, let's remember that this is back at a time where credits were not really documented as well. And yes, one artist says they remember doing this page, but again, if there's no proof, it's difficult for Heritage or any auction to kind of say, well, we missed the credit, because you have to rely on public credits at some point.
You do, but at the same time, this is a big deal. I think Dan said it well when he said if it was $10,000, $10,000 is still a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, But if it was $10,000, then you might be looking at, okay, we'll waive the buyer's premium or something just to let the sale go through. But I mean, when you're looking at 275,000, I mean, what's that? 220 plus juice. I mean, even if I'm not saying they did, but even if they waived that, you're still looking at 220. It's
Oh.
just
It's closer to 200. Yeah,
Yeah,
but still,
I was
it's just,
thinking
it's a lot
myself
of money.
100, 120. I think it deserved a premium over the past sales, but
yeah.
as someone who knows and loves iconic pages,
This is like buying
275 is pretty
this is
fair.
like winning the Tom Brady retirement ring or whatever
Right.
football, and then 2 months later he comes out of retirement.
Yeah. Okay.
What are you gonna do? I'm sure there's they have a contingency plan for anything, especially things like this, right?
So many Friends jokes too.
Yeah.
Look, they'll work something out, but it's an interesting footnote for such an unusual result.
Exactly. It was interesting to see Ron make that post. I think most people saw it. Now, this is a piece a couple of you guys wanted to talk about,
Yeah,
but
I'll start,
Dina
Dan.
gets
I
to
know
go
you
with
had
this one.
some comments as well. So, art itself, if something we're going to be put on a wall, it's hard to beat this from the auction in terms of kind of wall power. It's of course a recreation of the Captain America annual. At 35,000 per perspective, this is a Jim Lee. It's a very memorable cover. I used to remember when his sketches hit 15, 20,000. So I think it's actually a great price. I believe it was consigned after March, where the Arthur Adams recreation of the same cover sold for 106,000 in the March auction. So in a sense, to me, Jim Lee at 35, I think it's a much better deal.
Oh, I think this
I
one's
just
cheap.
I love the image. I mean, if you look at the detail that Jim put in here, it's fantastic.
Oh no, this one went
Hands up.
cheap. This one didn't even fall between the cracks. It went cheap.
Yep, full agreement. I picked this as well for us to discuss because there's enough Jim Lee art out there, and Jim makes some stuff available as well. So there's always a steady stream of Jim Lee art coming to the market. There's a steady stream at most auctions, and it's not surprising to see a couple pieces fall between the cracks, but it's rare to see something this nice fall between the cracks. If you wanted to get Jim to do something like this for you, you would really be taking your chances because a lot of them don't come out this gorgeous. This just came out just right. You can tell that Jim Lee appreciates that Cap Annual 8 cover as much as the rest of us do because it's just a wonderful homage. His market, even for these things, is more than 35, and someone got a really good deal on something that is a great recreation.
At the end of all of us talking about the pieces we picked, I would love to talk about the modern part of the auction that was the second half of Sunday. I would like to touch on that, especially about Jim Lee. But yeah, I think it would cost you more than 35 to get it done today, and I'm sure you'll get equal here. But there's definitely some. But I don't know that he would do the same thing twice. And there is something magic about this. There's something in the energy of what he drew. I personally thought this was going to be between 60 and 75. That's really where I thought it was going to land. There was one question. The one thing is that's been pointed out was, yes, the Art Adams, I believe, was published.
And it was bigger.
And it was bigger. But considering this is Jim and what he commands, I still think normally this would be between 60 and 75, but not everything's going to hit on all cylinders.
Especially
I mean, that just happens.
Recreations are always kind of hard to tell who's interested.
Yeah.
Some of the collectors won't even bid on them. So anyway, great piece. I mean, love to see this.
It is. Congrats to the winner.
I brought this up for kind of just to set some examples. I think with a lot of the good, heavy modern art in this auction, with the diversification of collectors, I think things like this, which is a bronze staple Marvel team up, Iron Man's in there, who set the pace for the largest single piece in this auction. This thing kind of 23,000. It sold for 30,000 last year. Again, it tells me two things. One is some things just if it doesn't excite people because it's this and that, a first appearance or whatever, it could be very challenging in a big auction like this. And second, when you bring something to market after under a year after it's sold in the same auction house, you better be careful, because this thing that really didn't gain any attention. I looked at the number of watchers on this, and it was like a fourth of what was watching it in the auction last year. So again, just a word of warning to those who think a quick flip is still in the cards. It's hard to do these days, particularly with a lot of other more exciting pieces, really overshadowing stuff like this.
And I thought it was the Iron Man nose discount that did it.
Yeah.
No, this thing just bounced around a bit recently. Yeah. It's been rubbed in a lot of faces. The dealers have had a chance to show this to the Iron Man guys and, the collectors, and everybody gets a chance to say,
It is a nice cover overall. And look, it's the person who got it got a good value, in my opinion.
As long as they don't try to flip it.
Correct.
But if they do, let us know so that we can look at it.
and I'll offer you 18.
Exactly.
No, I get it. At the end of the day, there's just so much good stuff out there. It's like, somebody already has a good example from this book or a good Iron Man example. Hey, there's Human Torch collectors out there too. It's just at the end of the day, this one, I think everything you guys said about being careful and cautious, and seller has 23,000 hopefully in their back.
Actually, you take out the VIG, they actually get half of what they paid for a year ago.
Oh, that's true. That would be true.
Yeah.
Take a quarter out of that, or 20. Is it 20? Is it 25?
Yeah, it would be 25. 25. It's 25 plus, but if you're deducting, it's 20. What did it go for, Bill?
Just under 24 with the VIG. So
30 last year.
So yeah, you're right. You're right, Dino. It's going to put it around 16. So it's close to half.
Just word of warning for those who those days are gone where you could find something and flip.
What is it? It is kind of cool and appealing seeing Iron Man with the nose, though. There's something about that era where it was there and everybody hated it, but now it has like an affection to it. It's kind of weird. But not when you flip it within a year.
I couldn't help but pick this one. I just love. I've always loved Buscema on Mephisto. He appeared in Thor. He appeared in the Silver Surfer series, and then this was from the graphic novel. What was it? The Silver Surfer graphic novel from '88. Anyway, what a great page! I love the dramatic scene that this comes as one of the most memorable parts of the book. I think it's interesting is that the price level, it's sold at 10.5. The Galactus page, just Galactus, sold for 13,000. A Surfer and Frankie Ray alone sold for 11,000 in 25 or last year. So I think the buyer here got probably the best page of those three that I mentioned at a good price. But you more and more you look at the inking on this thing with what he did. I think Vince. I don't know this inker, but who just really did a great job on this.
It's magnificent. Actually, this was one of the ones I was considering putting on my list, and then I saw it on yours. So
it was on my list. I put it on mine too. It was just too cheap for what it was,
And beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, price aside, just a great dramatic page.
The whole design, the emotion, everything about it is just perfect. I mean, Silver, I know a lot of people love, I know that Buscema personally loved his Conan, loved working on Conan, but man, there was so much energy he put into Silver Surfer. And this page, I mean, look at it. Look at how great it is.
Nope,
congrats to the buyer.
It's beautiful. And I don't think I've ever seen that inker's name before either. They must not have had a long career, but they didn't botch the art. I mean, it still looks wonderful.
Marcus was afraid this was actually Ron Frenz and not John Buscema.
My last piece was a Mignola page. I mean, there's been a lot of Hellboy and all the different spin-offs of Hellboy, Mignola art over the last few auctions. Very few from Rocket Raccoon, and he did. This is the only issue I think Heritage has sold from issue number 1. You got just a fantastic panels of Raccoon in the Rocket in this thing, and just a wonderful face shot at the wonderful flying shot at the end. I just think Mignola is very underrated on his stuff that outside of Hellboy. I think one of his Dracula pages made a splash a few years ago. I think this is actually a great kind of under the radar limited series where he did some great work. Yeah, it did set a record for the number for a Rocket Raccoon page, but the ones from the issues 2, 3, 4, and 6 sold for around 4,000 to 6,500. So for 7.5, you're getting something better than I think.
I think, and you got Rocket in every panel, and look at the facial features. I mean, it's great.
He's a major character now with the movies and stuff. So.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, this is the Rocket that you see in the movies. You know, I mean, you've got it right there. So, congrats. I think this was a fair price both ways for the seller and the buyer. So, and it's gorgeous. This only has upside, in my opinion, unless they sell it within a year.
I love the inking. I don't know who inked it. It wasn't Mignola, that's for sure.
Was it Jerry Talek?
Al Gordon.
Gordon, yeah, I think was the inker. I have a page. I have a page from like issue 3, and they usually go for like 4,500 to 5,500. Yeah. So this is from issue 1. It's got great Rocket on it. I think it's right where it should be, for this era. And it was a great story.
I just love finding things under 10,000 that has a lot of bragging rights to it.
Mm-hmm. Now that was your last one, and we may have a few others to look at here, but so Schomburg.
Yeah,
there were a lot of these in the auction. I think there was 13, and
which, by the way, I've never seen so many. I've never seen more than 1 or 2 show up in any one place at any one time. Right. And when these things would show up a decade ago, even though recreations weren't that big a decade ago, for some reason Schomburg was always good money because everyone wanted the Schomburg covers, and not none, but very few wound up surviving World War II, and not really the legendary ones like this one. So if this thing showed up a decade ago, you'd expect it to go for $35K, which would have been a lot back then. It was crazy for recreations. So, doing 75 today isn't so shocking, but when you see a dozen others, and they're not a dozen turkeys. If I didn't choose this one, I would have had the Torch versus the Submariner. I think that was the first crossover in comics.
Yeah.
There's so many amazing ones to choose from. If there were only one in this auction, I think maybe this would have gone for more than 75. But as a group, when you add them all together, wow, what a haul. Never seen these many Schomburgs. Don't expect to ever again.
And also, he did do a couple that were published as Overstreet price guide covers. It wasn't a recreation, or they were like themed on the recreation, but those sold for 50 to 70,000. I think now the latest one was like 90. So I think those based on this price, I think those become more valuable because of the published image. This All Select one was also used for an Overstreet cover. I actually have the art from Murphy Anderson that did a Twice Up reproduction that was published, that was chosen over the Schomburg to do for the Overstreet cover, which is interesting. But a classic cover. People remember this, this Schomburg's association with the Big Three and the Golden Age. I mean, there's a lot of appeal to that as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just doing some market data searches right now to see what, because I remember that one Overstreet cover sold in 2021.
Number 9 with the 3 of them. One surfing. One was, I think. Captain America surfing on the water with Namor.
I don't have that one. I have the one here. I can drag it over into the screen here for a second.
But there are a couple. He has 2 or 3 that are published, which I think now become much more valuable based on.
Right. This was the cover to 10 that went for 55, and then
that's what I said.
The one where he was surfing went for 55. Right.
Yeah. So those things, if this sold for 75, those are $100,000 now, just based on that.
Right.
Sale, I would think.
But no, I mean, I was worried, that it was going to hurt him a lot more. But the prices still came out pretty good, and I agree. The Namor and Torch one would have been like that one. I like that one as much as I like this piece here. But they were all fantastic to see, just like the Schusters. And we'll look at one of the Schusters before we're done today too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Heritage has been moving some great EC art too. And I don't think any of the EC lots really stole the show with everything else that was going on around it. But I thought this was a wonderful example. I think it went for 68 by George Evans. I don't know the artist's sales history. I don't know if that's a particularly good result, but this is very horrific without being gory. It's dramatic. It's definitely something that would turn Frederick Wortham's stomach, but but you could still hang it on your wall. It's not so overtly gross.
Well, or your dungeon at least, right?
A great example.
Well, the face on him is fantastic. I mean, it's that maniacal smile is just maniacal enough without being over the top.
I love the feathered inks too. This kind of harkens back
yeah.
to the Wally Woods and the Frazetta and those kind of golden age 40s. I think you get a lot of those EC covers. They're very flat. They just have one single line, and they expect to do the coloring to sell the book. But I see a lot of really good, very sophisticated inking on the cover, particularly on the not only him, but if you below on the bottom part of the cover, you have kind of you have cross hatches and shading that's pretty spectacular, and he took great pride in putting that in.
Yeah, great cover.
Nope, I agree. And it did go for 68,750 with the buyers.
As an EC cover, I've seen covers I don't like as much as this sell for much more. So I think it's cheap, but I don't know the market well enough to say so. I wouldn't mind having it. I can say that much. A Sandman cover. Now, we've seen Sandman pages really rebound from the controversy. I feel that especially for quality examples, people are able to separate the art from the artist. These things always threw me, though. I don't know how many of you guys have seen those early Sandman covers, but they're shadow boxes,
They're actually physical,
they're physical, like shadow boxes, like this thick, and they put the things inside. I saw Scott Eder bring one to a show ages ago.
He's life size.
Yeah,
5 feet tall.
I have no desire whatsoever to touch. I mean, look, for an early Sandman cover, 40K actually seems kind of cheap, but I know what these things are, and I don't collect what these things are. And it's a damn shame, because I'd love to have an early Sandman cover too, but it's just too much outside of my wheelhouse.
Just my 2 cents is, when you talk about a Sandman cover, it's not about the characters. Like, everyone looks at internal pages. Does it have Morpheus? Does it have the Dream? Whatever. On a cover, his art is imagery, and I think he plays a lot with photographs and kind of colors and things. But I think the fact that it doesn't really matter who's on this cover, a Sandman cover painted, I mean, it stands out on itself. Okay,
there you go. That's Eder's number one cover.
Yeah. He brought that
about 5.5 foot tall, about 200 pounds. I mean, it's heavy.
It is. Wood. Oh, he was freaked out, and never anyone got within 1 foot of it. You just one little nudge. Oh.
I'd freak out too. I mean,
where was this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh God, this must have been a local show back in 2013, 2014, something like that. He just brought it on a whim, I think. Just wanted to show it off.
I mean,
it's been on CAF since 2009.
That's ridiculous. Look at that.
But yeah.
Oh,
okay.
I was wrong. I had one more regret. This was it.
Okay, well, I included a few extra ones. Dino, these are from the extra ones that you picked, because we do have a little bit of extra time before my next guest
Nick, why don't you kick that off then?
Iconic, beautiful, I wish it would have went for cheaper because I had a bid in. This is so memorable. Well, I guess if you were a Daredevil Frank Miller fan, this was so memorable. It is just, I mean, it just makes you think of that last page where Daredevil figures out that it was Wilson Fisk that was destroying his life when they blew up his house. And he said you would have gotten away with it if you didn't put your signature on it. I mean, it's just so powerful to just have his ripped costume with the double D in his hand. It's
I
great.
think what Nick said. This is so powerful. I think that whoever bought this, and again, I think they got a great value on it. It means so much more than just what's on the pictured on the page. I mean, it brings together the whole storyline of kind of Born Again and the hardship and the challenges. And it's by an artist now that who's I mean, it's hard to find a interior page under 20,000 with any relevance. So getting the cover is or promotional piece, I think is quite outstanding.
Yeah, Mazzucchelli Daredevil is just, we all love it. When I look at this, I don't immediately tie it visually to those storylines. Maybe it's the shading of it. I mean, I know it's connected. It's Mazzucchelli. It's from the era. It's from the story. I just, without it being in the story that I read, in my eyes, when I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, Born Again. Oh yeah, no, it's still amazing, but I can see why it wouldn't run as much as it would have if it were a published pinup or the cover or something like that. The context of it was just ever so slightly lacking, I thought.
And a bold artistic, to think of this as concept as art is it was pretty bold. Like, hey, don't even show his face, just show his torn costume.
Mm-hmm.
I like that about it.
Here we got it. We had to talk about the two consecutive Ronin pages here since it was mentioned in the chat. These went for $125,000, and I mean, I've always wanted a page this. I think Miller still has a couple of these books complete still, or has, if I'm not mistaken. But so just seeing this just it's so beautiful. I mean, I loved this book.
Yeah, it's what Ronin pages do these days. It's a wonderful example of Frank's style. I'd rather take the Punisher Daredevil page over this, just because it resonates with me. It's more within my history for the artist. But yeah, you don't get more Frank Miller than Ronin. This was his passion project. This was him doing things exactly the way
he did it his way. I mean, obviously the Daredevil and the Punisher and the Batman and stuff. I mean, that is something he'll always be known for. When he did Ronin, he said he's doing it his own way. He drew his own borders. He did premium paper, and the way he illustrated it, he borrowed from Japanese manga. And he brought in the.
Oh yeah, no, this was he did his Lone Wolf and Cub when he was first introduced to manga, and he went to Japan, and he just fell in love with it. I mean, you can see the attention to detail. You can see it in the costumes. You can see it everywhere. He was working on this while he was working on Daredevil. It's just fantastic. I mean, and he got it his way. He got to pick the paper quality, the format, the pricing. It was a passion project. You know,
137 is the big dollar for the. I mean, for shows Ronin serious. I mean, serious art, right? I used to remember when 25 was the tops for a page interior.
Right.
Yeah, but
you got to remember this is also a battle page. You're actually getting 2 fight pages here, so I think that's part of the going over 30,000 each.
And if any collector wants to see kind of the next level up, Scott Williams has 3 pages consecutive with Ronin fighting the rat guy in his gallery. You should check it out. It's much more deeply embellished, but it's a fantastic fight scene.
I have a question because I don't remember this. Does anybody know the most famous page, in my opinion, in this book is the page, or the pages where the woman thinks that he needs innocent blood to win, and the woman was worried that he was going to kill her or the baby, and he goes, "Your blood's not pure. He doesn't have enough blood," and then he kills himself.
Yeah, I owned that page
go for
before.
today?
I had the page and I let that go stupidly. The one that he's by a campfire and he says, "I need to have innocent blood," and the woman looks at her baby like, "You're going to take my baby," and he goes, "Relax, I got to do something else." So, I stupidly let that go, and I couldn't afford another Ronin page since. But that led to the 3-page scene that Scott has, where he basically stabs himself to kill the guy.
Yeah.
I won't read it, but that's.
It's 45 years. No spoilers at this point.
Okay, all right. But great story if you pick it up, and it's hell of a piece of art.
Well, here, I'm going to slip in a Schuster and ahead of these a couple of the pieces. So this one, there were again 10 to 12 of these, and this to me was the one when Manarino picked his one. I forget which one it was, but it wasn't this one. I pulled this one up because I just thought this has got to be the one that sells for, more than the piece he had picked. And it was true. This one went for 137, but you can see like across the top. I mean, all of them did rather well. But this one was the stand. Oh, that's right. He had he had which one was it? He had picked this one right here, and it went for 81. Yeah, I mean it's a great image, but I mean this is just too classic.
Yeah, I could have seen neither one of them go for more money. To be honest, it's just it's hard to predict. I mean, for recreations they did really well, but I mean,
I thought they all went for a lot of money. You can argue that maybe the key pieces like the Action One recreation.
The two. Those are the two that I could have seen go for more money.
That's the big one, but across the board, the Schusters were looking strong. I want to say too strong. Just there was one which is just like the standard profile that Schuster always used to draw.
Side profile.
You would see those things in the wild for like $2-3K a pop. So seeing one done in color for
they were always just pencil, but that's what made these special, right? The guy said that he hooked up with Schuster when he moved to California and directly commissioned
82, I think.
Maybe it's the provenance, maybe it's the collection it comes from, but I just feel that a large amount of money was drawn to these lots, and if you just found them scattered in the wild, maybe the Action One would really perform like it did, but the rest of them were all quite pricey. But don't get me wrong, it was great looking through them. You don't get to see this kind of Schuster art. You don't get, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, there were so many examples. It was so deep on this stuff, and it just made the results all the more impressive.
And let's also remember that the Action One comic sold for a record 9 million or so, I think, earlier this year. That has to draw some more attention to Superman art.
I think they did a good job of promoting the fact that there were a lot of Schusters in this auction, and that they definitely played that up. And you're right, the 9 million had an effect. And I'm curious which one Michael Finn won. Michael, which one did you win? Inquiring Minds won, or which ones did you win?
I want to know which Schomburg you got. Tell us, Finn. Tell us. Which Schomburg?
I said none. All right, well.
Oh, me neither. Sorry, buddy.
Well,
great.
We know he's always picking up, though. But at any rate, I'm just glad to see that they did that well, because I was, whether it was the Absolute Batman covers or it was the Schomburgs, it just felt like when you see that many pieces in the same auction that it's just not going to work well. But
it's an 80-year span. But there was money. That's the most impressive thing. Even though you're deep with the Williamsons and the Schusters and the Schomburgs, even though you've got Absolute Batman art selling right next to, Action One recreations, if it was quality, it got its attention. really one of the strongest auctions I can remember seeing for years. And I've been waiting for that TOS 39 splash to show up for decades. I've known it exists. A lot of people knew it existed and the story was complete. There are a handful of real key pieces of comic art out there. And this makes the short list of things that you really want to see. I thought it was an amazing auction, you know.
It was. It was.
It could come back to that whole notion that that there were so few pieces this time around too, right? I mean, if you have another 180 pieces in the auction, do we see these? Do we see this piece sell for 55,000? Do we see the the Daredevil page go for what it did? Maybe not, right? I mean, because another if you dilute the set by at least up to 200 more pieces, it's gonna hurt things. So I don't know, maybe they learned something from this. Have more midweek auctions. I mean, I get a ping every day, it seems like. There was a comic art ping that came today for the Archie auctions that were closing.
I also felt like the auction, the pace of the live auction was a little bit more. It wasn't rushed. It didn't feel rushed. It had a lot more patience to it, and that allows last minute bidders to kind of either up their bid or challenge what's on the board. So,
well, I like this format. I like the way that they go with a few some fewer pieces. According to the folks at Heritage, if they keep doing it like this, more quality stuff starts flowing into the weekly auctions to keep people coming in weekly. Yeah. I'll say this, as long as these auctions turn around the numbers like the signature auction just does, you can expect to see more auctions following a similar format to this one. Because this one knocked it out of the park.
Yep. All right.
And so you wanted to talk about the Sunday, and I know Nick, and I know that James was saying we always hear about you guys picking up things, and nobody said they bought anything. So I don't know if you want to divulge any of that, but what did you want to say about the Sunday auctions, Nick?
The thing that surprised me about the Sunday auction was some of the art that they put into the modern art. Like they went back into the 90s, like the early 90s, where there were Jim Lee X-Men pages from like 270, 271.
Right.
And they went cheap. Like I said, I put in my bids and walked away. If I would have known, if I would have had an inkling that those Jim Lee pages would have went so affordably, I think if they would have put those Jim Lee pages in the first part of the Sunday auction, they would have done much better. I was just surprised how I don't want to say they changed the name of modern, but they
changed the format. That was something that they wanted to get the word out on in the lead up to the auction. Manarino mentioned it. I'd gotten an email even before the show with Joe, and that they didn't want to classify modern as 2000 and up. They wanted to go 1990 and up, and they didn't really clarify why, but they knew that they needed to get the word out because it was moving a lot of the hot 90s artwork into the second session on Sunday. And that, I don't know obviously if that, maybe that played into it a little bit, but I think that's the way they're going to go going forward. They're going to consider, they're going to go with the 1990 onward for the modern session as the second session on Sunday.
And that goes counter to what I would have believed. I think if the modern continues to kind of grow in the future, then the designation of when it starts should actually move up rather than back.
I agree. I mean, I thought at the 2000 forward, I mean, we're at 2026 now. So modern to me should be maybe the last 20 years is modern, right? So we should be at 2006. It says something about
our age and the age of the bidders on these things. It does say something.
It makes us feel younger though.
But
it does. And obviously, eventually, maybe not even eventually, the second half going back to the 90s will do better.
Yeah.
But I just was surprised because some of the other modern stuff like the Peach Momoko and everything else still did well. So it felt like the 90s stuff that was pushed into the modern did less than the regular stuff. Like maybe people were used to the modern being 2000 and up, and then the pre-2000 just felt like they all underperformed.
Right. Well, maybe they'll rethink it. I mean,
Yeah.
they've got data points now that that shows.
I mean, if I were a
whether we're
'90s
successful
collector,
or
I
not.
wouldn't want that tied to the modern. I'd like to
Neither would
consider
I.
it vintage.
You know what? I think I'm trying to remember. I think that may be why I got so I got the Perez Hulk Future Imperfect,
Yeah, which is
where
2005.
where Maestro gets killed. You've got the one side where you have the origin of the Hulk with Rick Jones and Bruce Banner, and the other side, the Maestro realizes he got dropped in the middle of the gamma bomb going off. And I think that's why I got it so cheap. Why I only got it for, I mean, only being a relative term, everybody, please. I put in a 7K bid, walked away, and I won it. And I could not have been more surprised. The person who actually put it in the auction paid more than that years ago because he bought it directly from Peter David. So the fact that that went for that was just a surprise. I also think, here's the thing. They started doing this modern section when they were having 900 pieces of art. I mean, that was the whole idea of the modern section, was we were all getting tired of 900 pieces of art starting at 12 noon and going to 11 o'clock at night. one whole thing. And then they started splitting it up. I don't think they needed to split it up this time.
Well, I mean, I'm
talking too much. Sorry.
No. I mean, I'm with you, and I think again they're going to have a chance to look at everything. I'm sure they're going to get some feedback at San Diego from some of the consigners and the buyers. The buyers clearly were happy. I mean, it is, it worked to some, but again, we still had a $14.4 million sale just in comic art over that. So even though some pieces fell through the cracks, many of them didn't. But before we go, because I do have another segment to do, Dino, did you pick it? Did you get a piece in this auction? I think you said you didn't, but
I did not. I did not. I put a few bids in, but didn't chase anything.
All right. What about you, Dan?
Oh, I came close a couple times, but yeah, I missed out this time around.
All right.
There's always tomorrow, though.
Exactly. And I saw James mention it. It might be something that we look at next time we do one of these, is maybe breaking them out in sections a little bit based on the whether we talk about the live, the floor bidding on the first day, and then looking at some of the other segments. I mean, I have to think they're going to rethink Sunday a little bit, maybe go back to the old format. But for crying out loud, the 90s could have their own window, right? I mean, because there's so much art there, and with the focus being so much on the 90s these days, I think that would be a smart move.
When we do our recap, it'd be great to bring in a kind of a modern focused collector to share some thoughts on some of that modern pieces.
There's a few of them out there.
Really some good ones. Yeah,
we could reel in a few people.
I would say bring in James. I mean, he would be perfect.
Right.
Well, yeah, James. We didn't hear from James to tell us what he bought during the auction, but I'm sure he's been reveling in his John Romita Jr. Cable One pickup.
As he should. Absolutely, exactly. He should.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that the I know it's going to be on the schedule, but I think that the next signature auction is late September.
Yes.
So I'll try to, we have enough time. I'll try to book a Tuesday night for us to do this, so we can have a full 2 hours to go through everything, and a little more time to pick.
Well, this has been fun as usual. Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks everyone for attending.
Yeah, Dino, Dan, Nick, always fun getting to hang out with you and talk shop. I really do enjoy it. And again, Dan and Dino, you're not going to San Diego. Nick, am I going to see you in San Diego?
I hurt my knee, and I'm still going through rehab. So
okay.
I was going to
I'll tell you guys all about it when I get back.
I was going to get one of those scooters.
Buy me a T-shirt.
Yeah. Enjoy the second best comic art convention.
That's right. Exactly.
It's all right. It is number 2.
OAX is in
Maybe
March,
you can give those guys some advice.
No, heck no. But anyway, so much. It's always good getting to hang out with you, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon. And thank you.
All right. Be well, guys. Thanks for watching.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.
See you guys. All right. Always fun getting to talk a signature recap with those guys. There's always something insightful, but that's the interesting thing is that none of them, well, outside of Nick, picked up anything this time. James was right. We usually each segment, one of the guys has something to talk about in regards to a piece they picked up, but not today. So next up, my good friend Big Phil is in the green room, and his camera's looking sharp, and he's looking a little apprehensive. But let's get him in here and see how he's doing. Hey, Phil, how you doing, man?
What's going on, brother Bill? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. You heard me. I'm trying to get myself in the mental state to go to San Diego in a few days. I'm flying out on Sunday, so I'm going to be there, be at the show Tuesday through Saturday. But it's a good time. It's busy. One of the busiest shows in the world. But what about you?
I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going or not. I'm always that person, like the couple of days before that I'm like, you know what, I think I'm going to go. It's funny because Arvell Jones hit me up this week and asked me if I was going. And he got passes for me to go. He said, if you want to go, I'll make sure you're straight. So I'm like, all right.
Well, flights aren't cheap, but have you been? Have you gotten to San Diego?
I've never been to San Diego.
Okay.
I've been to San Diego, but I've never been to SDCC.
Right. Well, everybody has to experience it at least once, Phil.
For sure.
Honestly, it's no other show really compares to it. I mean, you could look at New York Comic Con and say, but San Diego is special, and it's a lot of it. And I think the things that would interest you is just the film and television, the aspects to it that expand beyond comics into pop culture. I think that there's a lot there that you just are not going to get at any other show out there.
For sure.
Let's see. Casper says Dennis Cowan.
I'm not even. Casper's just making jokes. Nobody.
I know he is.
Casper always says something, and I apologize for being a little late, or I guess I'm still on time. It was my daughter's birthday yesterday, so we were celebrating all yesterday, and then today I had like a bunch of different meetings, and I'm literally just now like making it back. Like I literally got back in time to be, to do this. So I do apologize if I
oh man, it's all right.
I had a segment going already, so I'm right on time. But I wanted to apologize to Casper personally.
No, we're good. See,
Let me put my glasses on.
Casper got me today. I was answering a question of his or something he said that was clearly a joke, and I still took it seriously and answered it. I'm just gonna ignore it. If I see Casper's name in there, I'm just gonna like have blinders on.
I'm putting them back on. I put them back on just so I can read and do all of this. So, but I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah, no problem. I know you have a Kickstarter going on right now,
I do.
So tell us a little bit about that. I mean, I know I can share. I didn't get any material, but I do have the link. Why don't I throw the link in the chat for everybody?
We can throw that link up on that, John. That'll make it work. So, for those who don't know me, Big Phil, Collections in Black. I'm a big collector. I'm a big collector of all original art, actually. But my lane is culturally relevant original comic book art. Art that deals with Black characters, Black artists, the culture, et cetera, et cetera. For the last couple of years, I've been doing Collections in Black, which is the gallery and exhibits, and we've had that in Pittsburgh at the August Wilson Center, and then we moved that on to we were actually at OAX.
We were at OAX, right? I mean, I know Khalil and Casper worked on the show with you.
Casper and Khalil, and we had probably the illest section of art of culturally relevant art that was just ridiculous, like the Black Panther KKK pages. The first time you had Luke Cage with a tiara, Robbie Robertson, when everybody always thought he was a Black character, but at first he was a white character. We had the notes that said, I mean, I could go on and on. We've been in Charlotte, Chicago, other cities, but the thing for me is that I'm all about getting history correct. And what always, struck me was that we don't know where the pages are to Fantastic 452, which is the origin of the most iconic Black, superhero in existence, the Black Panther. And we were blessed enough to have a page from 53. And as far as I know, that is the oldest published appearance that that we have of T'Challa. And we had it at OAX in Florida 2 years ago. So it's funny because if you've seen OAX Collection in Black All Access, there's a scene where it's me, Kazra, Still Freeze, and Green, and we're discussing the fact that those other pages don't exist or a ghost. Actually, Kazra sitting there discussing it. And I'm just sitting back. I'm like, man, this is crazy that we don't know, where this is. Like historically, it's a travesty to not know where this is, regardless if they exist or not, or we know where they are. It's just the fact that we have like there's no record, there's no anything. So with finding 52, and I'm a little long-winded, I apologize, but I get like this sometimes, Brother Cox. My thing is that I'm going to go on this journey to attempt to find these pages. And while I'm doing that, I'll be stopping at, your favorite artists, collectors, things of that particular nature, and actually shedding some light to the importance of original art and just why this is important.
Right.
So.
No, and that's the trick with any artwork from that era, is that there's a lot of complete issues that just have not turned up in the public eye, but they were all out there at the end of the day. When you look at it, early Fantastic Four stuff, I mean, I can't remember what somebody in the chat would correct me, but I think like pre-issue 40, there's hardly anything at all out there. So complete issues it's not rare for that to happen because of the way a lot of the artwork was liberated from the Marvel warehouse. At the end of the day, complete issues.
That was a nice way of saying stolen, but go ahead.
Right. Well, back they didn't pay artists a lot of money back in the day, and there's a few artists that benefited from those books going. And the thing is, at that era, the publishers were more concerned about the production stats that they made of the original art.
Right.
That's what they were using to reprint the books from. They didn't go back to the original, so all that stuff just sat in a warehouse.
Sure.
And therein lies the problem. I mean, for all you know, Stanley's Taylor got the book because they gave it to him, and who knows what the family did with it after that guy passed away. So that's the worst part about it, is not knowing, because they didn't keep any records, whether they gave it away or it was stolen. That's
also the beauty of it, because we start to have these particular conversations. For me, I feel like once we get into this, it starts to while we're looking for these answers, all of a sudden there's other questions that come up. Now it's like, okay, well, what about this? What about this? We just seen the Iron Man page sell for X amount of dollars. I can only imagine, Iron Man is more popular character than T'Challa is, but I can only imagine certain collectors what they would pay to have the cover of the Fantastic Four 52 or the first page or the first panel with that. I mean, it's just because of it's just a cultural phenomenon. Like, I feel like it'll, the numbers will be astounding. But for me, it's not about the numbers, it's about the history. So, we got about 10 days left on this Kickstarter, and we're not even at half of this joint. So I'm just, I'm crossing my fingers that we get the community to help to, so that we can push this thing,
Sure. Well, I mean, it's going to be a fun project to get to interview some creators and talk about the relevance of the artwork, and I'm sure their desire to see the artwork get found one way or another. Hopefully, it's not lost to.
Somebody has asked me about King Quattro. Yeah, that's my guy. We actually gave BCL. We gave King Quattro an award when we did our virtual con. So I do talk to King Quattro quite a lot, but he don't know what his John is. I love him though. I'm sorry.
I see. Rich Danny's asked that. Yeah, no, I get it. And again, you'll run into stuff that has been talked about, written about, for the last 30 years. I know that I don't know who mentioned it in the chat, but the Comics Journal published a list of like an active inventory at some point when everything was still in the warehouse. I forget what issue it is, but if you've probably found it already, but there is something that documents at least at a certain period of time what was there. So
Right.
if issues don't appear in that list, then you know that they walked out of the warehouse one way or another.
For sure.
Uh,
Sure.
but yeah, no, this is it's a part of this hobby that has been talked about a lot privately, and never too
Right.
dramatically out in the
It's
wilds.
it's
But
it's one of those. The funny part about it is that when I start talking to certain people about it, like you said, people talk about it privately. There's conversations like as soon as I mention it, like some people will make a little joke or something and say, "Man, they're at such and such's house" or whatever. I'll leave that alone. I'm not gonna go into that. We'll let that go. But it's just, I plan on, you know, one of the stops that I plan on making is I got to come back to Orlando. I'm gonna
mhm.
talk about the cash. I'm gonna get with you and just having those particular conversations. I'll be back. I'll be back at Heritage and a couple other particular spaces. There's some super big collect, and there's certain collectors I actually want to film. Not so much that they have an inkling of where it is, but just the fact that certain people have these massive collections and know how important they are. So the fact that they can speak about why this is important, you know what I mean? So then you sit
Mhm.
back, you have their collections on display, and we're talking about this, and oh, they have this, and this is super expensive, relevant pieces, and then they're talking about why this piece is important. I think that's going to be another aspect of the series as well. It's not just about finding that; it's the journey to find that, and also educating people on the importance of original art as well.
Well, I mean, it has to be a part of it. I mean, that's kind of what the journey is all about. I mean, what artists were you thinking of interviewing as part of this? You're not ready to talk about
Um,
that.
um, I mean, so it's funny because Arville Jones is one,
Mhm.
just because I want to make sure I give some respect to some of the old school cats. Keith Williams. A lot of people don't give, Keith Williams doesn't necessarily get the props that he gets, but he was, you know, not necessarily during that era, but would have been, coming up. And just the fact that like a lot of people don't know that Keith Williams was one of the first black editors at Marvel. He worked on Spider-Man as one of the editors. So it's just shedding the light and getting that particular knowledge as well. Ken Lashley hit me up and told me he got some stories for me for it as well. So it's things like that, and there's a couple big collectors that I really want to invade their house and have conversations with. But I'll talk to you and Kazra about that a little bit later. So
Well, there are a lot out there that would be interesting to talk to. If they're really going on camera, you never know. But no,
sure.
I think the perspective from the collector side, they would share your sentiment that they would want to know whether 52 was the relevant issue or not. I mean, there's a lot of issues out there that I just haven't seen the light of day,
Right.
and probably will. I mean, a lot of the people who picked up artwork, at that during that time period have started aging out a bit
Right. Right.
and passing away, and so that's why we're seeing a lot more of this stuff come out. I do think that within the next 4 or 5 years, we'll probably see some of these issues that have never surfaced before, come out because they're
Yeah.
just going to have to. I mean, you're going to have families not knowing what to do with things, and
Right.
and they're going to be looking at the auction houses to let them go. And I firmly believe we're going to see some of those choice books that haven't made it to the market yet make it
Right.
finally.
I mean, you'll see. I mean, hopefully, for me, I'm just hoping that they weren't destroyed. And that's a possibility. But it's just I just kind of want to get some of the answers, or and just the journey to getting the answers for me is all there is. I mean, my thing is that they've never shown up, in the fact that thanks to y'all and others, the original comic art space is just blown up. Like it's in a whole nother spectrum. I gotta give props to y'all because y'all are one of the reasons why I was already collecting, but I didn't start going super hard with it until when I went to OAX. And it's funny because I already had ideas what I was going to do with Collections in Black, but when I went to OAX for the very first time, I said, "Oh yeah, this is serious. I'm not playing no games with this." And
I remember talking to you at the auction.
Oh yeah, in the auction too. I wasn't playing.
You remember that?
The first auction was crazy, and
that was an interesting
I did
first
meet.
auction for us.
I met Khalil for the first time at OAX. And Khalil was so instrumental in both the August Wilson space for doing Collections in Black and with doing it in Orlando. So it was just. And then I was able to form a relationship with Steel Freeze and all these other guys, and it just turned into a whole nother situation. So I just want to say, man, I appreciate that, from y'all, even though y'all didn't do it on purpose, but I do appreciate y'all creating the space so that we can have that. So
yeah, no. I mean, I remember, didn't George Hodge? He also helped contribute a few pieces to that to the first show.
We got we got a little group. We got a little text. We got a little Collections in Black group, man. That we sit back and they text me and said, man, they're excited to be on the show. George is out there in Charlotte as well. So I just kind of for me, I just feel like this particular this project is just so important, and I think that once it's done, people are going to be like, oh man, this was incredible. And I just I'm just hoping that we can get this Kickstarter funded. I'm going to wind up having, me, I'm going to find a way to make it happen. But I just, we don't have but so many days, and, we're just trying to make it do what it do.
Right. Now you got about, 9 or 10 days to go on it?
About 9 days.
9 days.
Right.
Oh, that's right. I got the screen saved or open over here. So what kind of rewards and things do you get?
Let me say this too, man. I've seen some of y'all spend $50,000 on some bullshit. Some of y'all. I've seen some of the shit. Some of y'all. Man, y'all go ahead and put this money over to a good cause, man, and let's make this work. We're part of this family and this community, but that's not me talking. I'm just keeping it 100. I've seen some of the stuff y'all done went crazy on. I'd be like, for real? All right.
The struggle is real, man. Trying to do good work and is when people like to put their money into the art, it's hard to find them to get behind causes. I mean, it's not all the time. I think our community is pretty strong.
I feel like this is a good community. I think it's one of those communities where we all get together. And shout out to everybody that made their way to Heroes Con and came to, we call it the unofficial after party, that came to Collections in Black. Man, I really, really appreciate everybody coming out. You, Kaz, all the artists, writers, fans. It was such a dope turnout. And it was almost like it was like another family reunion. You know what I mean? It was dope when Sanford Green came in with the whole DC Absolute team. Like, that was a dope moment. I don't know if y'all left. Y'all may have left by then.
I don't think I saw. I don't think he was there when I was there, but I was there a couple hours.
Yeah, when y'all left, he came in. Scott Snyder, all of them came in. All of them came in, and we chilled at the end. So because y'all aren't in that last. We took a group picture at the end. So
no, right, because we the film was playing when I think it was going for like 20 minutes by the time we ended up walking out of there.
And I had a meeting with a streaming service today about Collections in Black. They were talking about the possibility of me, streaming it, and then also doing some broadcasting. So we'll see what happens.
Well, that'll be exciting. You got to get the word out. It's all about getting the word out, man. And you're all about that. Aren't you doing something with a Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, so I'm doing a screening for Spider-Man on next Thursday.
Yeah, I thought I saw that.
So that's cool. I doubt any of y'all are flying up for that shit, but I'm doing it.
It's in Pittsburgh, right?
It's in Pittsburgh. Okay. So, there are people watching from the crib, so
that's right.
Tickets. I'm going to do a nice intro. And I'm doing an after party too. We're not announcing the after joint until we get there, so I'm doing that as well on Thursday. So we're gonna turn it into some other shit as well. So,
well, I do hope. Here, let me put the link in the chat again for everybody here. I know I saw Kazra do it again, and I'll put it in here as well. And it was in the mailing that went out earlier today, everybody. So there's that too. But Finding 52. So what? So plans. This is really just to get the first episode done, so you
Yes,
kind of get a feel for how you want to run with this project, right?
for sure, for sure. I mean, because the thing is, it's literally just for the pilot, but I'm going all out for the pilot. Like I'm going like it's not going to be, you know, I'm talking about with the editing and the traveling and everything else. It's going to be ridiculous, you know. And here's the thing too. This is our film. This isn't my project. This is our film. This is something that we all know and love in CAV, original art. You know, this is our particular film. This doesn't benefit me. I'm not making any money off this. I mean, I'm not going to be able to go buy cars, maybe a pair of Jordans at the most. But this is just so we can get this done. And it's going to be an incredible piece. I'm having an original art component with this as well. So, you know, just trying to make this work.
Cool. Hey, George Hodge just popped in and say hey to everybody. Hey,
That's
George.
my guy right there. Shout out to George too. You know, George gave some art, and then at one particular point, Dennis Cowan was doing his book, and he didn't have the originals. I want to say it was the whatever page it was. It was a particular page, but George had it, and it actually was in collection in black. So we sent it back, so it could have been scanned for the book. But I appreciate George, you know, letting us have that and you know, making us give it back to Brother Cowan. So George is a good guy.
George is a good guy. He gave me a piece of art as a gift when I was at Heroes. He is a very generous man.
For sure.
I'm glad to call him a friend. But yeah, well, I mean, so we got the word out. So we got 9 days left. So hopefully we can, you know, bring this home for you. I mean, that would be good.
I hope. I don't want to rob nobody. You know, I just want, you know, I kind of want to get this done. I mean, it's gonna get done. I'm not worried about it. You know, God's gonna make a way to make this happen.
Well, you're an excellent filmmaker. We all know that.
Oh, appreciate it.
That.
I mean,
I know you do a great job on it.
The plans that I have for this, I mean, I've already started, you know, quiet as kept. You know, there's things I've already started for this. But it's just the whole spy aspect, the whole detective aspect of it is going to be something that shines. And it's crazy because I got people are actually hitting me up talking about, man, do you mind if I do this as an extra incentive? And I do this as an extra incentive. And I got somebody that wants to, I have an artist that wants to do an ash can for Finding 52. And I don't know if I was supposed to say anything about it because, you know, he asked me and he said, I'm going to do like 6 pages. And this ash can, show me the art. And of course, it's going to be original art as well. Nothing digital, no Procreate or nothing like that, because it's for just to make sense. So there we are. And we're going to have a showing. And also I have a theater already that's interested in showing the, I'm going to debut the pilot in the theater. You know, we have some really dope incentives, some lobby cards. And it's, for me, at the end of the day, it's not really about the incentives. It's really about the end result. Like, I feel like people who want to help sponsor and donate to this particular film, they're looking forward to the film. It's not one of those particular situations where you get a lot of Kickstarters where people want to do these a la carte things and they want to get this particular book or that particular situation. Like, this is more about completing the project and being a part of that. But you know, my incentive package is incredible. I want to make sure I had a really dope incentive package for the people, and one that made sense for what we're doing as well.
Well, I mean, it sounds like, you know, this could be a History Channel sort of documentary if it comes to fruition the way you want it to, man. For sure.
Well, I'm not trying. I'm doing. We're gonna make it do what it do. So it's just a matter of time. It's, you know.
So with Collections in Black, do you have any further shows or plans for you know, getting it out there in front of people? You know, I mean, we had Heroes.
So with Collections in Black, I mean, and of course, this is going to be a part of that, obviously. with collections, well, first of all, with Final 52, you know, eventually, you know, we're going to do more than one episode, but this
Correct.
is just to get the pilot and get that going. But Collections in Black, if I go with this streaming situation, which I'm not, you know, it's going to be a different version of Collections in Black because I want to format it in a certain way because I have some certain goals in mind that I would like to do with it. So I'm going to do that as well. Once I get done with Final 52, I'm going to do a little bit more because I've been honest. I neglect my YouTube page. I neglect because I just have. But I feel like what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit more episodic films with Collections in Black. Like they will, you know, make it more of a series, you know, half-hour series, and then compile them maybe into, you know, one particular piece. I was looking at the OAX Collections in Black All Access that we did, and I'm like looking at them 4 episodes, and I lightweight want to just make that one film piece. Like, because
came out great.
It really can be. I mean, one episode's like over an hour because I didn't want to interrupt nothing that Still Freeze was saying because it was just really good, you know, information. But I could cut that down. But I feel like that's almost film festival material. When I sat back and I watched it, and I said, man, this you know, this is really good. Like when I sit back and I look at things of that particular nature, I don't look at it like I did it. Like if I look at it like I did it, then I'm just going to automatically love it. You know what I mean? Or hate it.
Right.
But when I watch it objectively, I'm like, oh man, this shit is good. Like, and I feel like I need to package that up into like an hour and 15-minute segment or short film. I mean, like I actually feel like that is actually something that could hit the, you know, the award circuit, the film festival circuit. I think it's dope enough. So,
yeah, I mean, why not, right? It was informative. It was fun. It was great. It was great to hear from the creators, Stelfreeze, Cowan, Sanford. I mean, again, that was a really special show. A bit of Root there as well. I mean, complete book. I mean, that was really that was a great OAX show. I mean, all around.
They're all good. They're all great. I mean, OAX is my absolute favorite con. I don't even know if we want to call it a con, but it's like my absolute favorite. Like it's just there's nothing like it. I've been like the biggest ambassador out here. When I talk to other people, they're like, "Man, you've been to something like, yeah, that's nice, but you need to come check this out." So it's definitively my favorite space, you know, and I consider y'all, you know, family. I feel like Kazra is like, you know, the cousin that there's something wrong with him. So we just still love him anyway. But besides for that, you know, it's all good.
Oh boy, I know he's still listening. But no, man, it's you know, again, I wish you the best on this. Obviously, I think it's totally it's relevant to our hobby, you know, and not be, you know, it's a cultural importance clearly, but at the same time, I mean, it's something that part of this story needs to be told one way or another, and a lot of the principles that could get embarrassed about some of the things are no longer with us. Most of them aren't. So at the end of the day, you know, the time is kind of right for something like this to kind of come out and talk a bit about it, you know, a little bit more objectively, openly, you know, with a fresh eye 50 years after a lot of this art walked away, because it happened in the 70s, early 70s.
60 years.
Mm-hmm.
We did the 60th anniversary.
Right. Well, I'm just thinking like when the art was, you know, when it disappeared was probably
when that disappeared.
Right. It was all in like the early 70s. I mean, and you know, and it filtered. Ironically, it filtered through a lot of the comic shops in New York. Super Snipe being one of them, and that was co-owned by Lucas. I mean, not that he had anything to do with it, but the point is that was where a lot of that art was it came to, because people were like, where are you going to sell it? So they were the customers that were there. Right. So it really wasn't just the stores that were picking it up. It was
this is why we got to sit down with you and Cass and have these roundtable discussions on film, and you know, and just these are the type of things that, you know, have to make it on there. You know, so there's a couple, there's a couple legendary collectors who I want to go see and talk to. I'm not gonna say no names right now. Kaz knows one of the guys I'm talking about. Kaz has sent me something to look at a while ago. I need to get over there just to have a conversation. And
Kaz says you owe more fried fish now.
Next time he comes up, I got him. Bill, you never come up.
I mean, I grew up there in that area, Youngstown.
That's crazy because for Kazra comes up and he's not even from around there. And Kazra's been up here.
He's been there more than I have.
It's crazy. You've never came up.
No, not since we've known each other. I've been to Pittsburgh more times than he has. I used to go to the Monroeville show all the time. That don't count. I know.
That doesn't count. That's some bullshit.
I'm a homebody, man. I like.
That's crazy. West Coast Avenger been up here more than you. That's crazy.
I know.
We got to work on that. And you got family like in Cleveland or something like that, right?
I do. My mom's still there, yeah. And I've got my nephew still there. My son lives on the east side right now. He has a house. I know.
Yeah.
I have no excuse.
I'm a little disappointed in you, brother. I'm a little disappointed. My feelings is hurt.
I'll try to be more outgoing in the future. I'll try to get out of this my space. But yeah, I don't like going to shows. I don't even like getting out. I don't like going to New York Comic Con. I mean, it's just I'm happier sitting right here doing my work. But but I get it, man. So
really?
I do,
brother Cox.
Yeah.
Listen, and I know people are sitting there looking, and Bill's too scared of melt. I'm not even gonna touch that. So y'all doing too much. Bill's all right. Brother Cox, pause. I'm not gonna. That sounds crazy, brother Cox. Bill's all right with me, man. So
yep. I know. It's all right, man. I don't have. I strive to do better. I do.
For sure.
But Phil, listen, man. I hope this. We got 9 days. You got a little ways to go, but it's.
We got more than a little ways to go. I keep it 100. We got more than a little ways to go. We gotta make this happen, people. We gotta make it happen.
All right. Well, we're here to help, and we're happy to contribute. I'm sure Kaz and I would be happy to sit down with you and talk. Give you some suggestions. You can interview us, whatever you like. But just say the word, and maybe we both go to Pittsburgh one day, and we can do it there too.
Okay. And one more time, here's my last piece. Y'all know I love y'all. Y'all see me at the OAX. You see me at the conventions. I talk to everybody, show everybody love. I don't even look. If y'all don't do nothing else, go to Finding 52 Kickstarter. Put your bread in there, man, and let's make this happen. And if there's anybody on here that I need to go see, because not even you got some insight, but your collection may be crazy and it may need to be showcased in there so we can have this particular conversation, please let me know, because I'm still mapping out exactly where I'm trying to go. So that's it.
All right. Well,
and if it don't get funded, I'm not coming to OAX the next time. I'm going to the Rivals. I'm gonna do Collections in Black somewhere else.
Oh man, that's I'm
there regardless, man.
I hear you, man. Well, we're here for you. That's for sure. And I put the link in the chat again. Maybe we can maybe push out something for you next week in the CAF news as well. I mean,
let's do. I mean, put everything y'all can do, man. Let's do that. Look, I see how much people spend, man. I ain't pocket watching, but we gotta make this work. That's all I gotta say.
I agree. I'm with you. I'm totally believe you, man. It has to be done. So anything we can do to help you get there is fine. We're here for you. Say happy birthday to your kid. Family's the most important thing out there today, man.
Family first.
Yeah. I know that. I got some stuff going on with the family tomorrow, but yeah, I hear you. There's this hobby will always be here. Family not always not the same.
Right.
But yeah, thanks, man. So it's just tell me how we can help out, and we will help get this.
How y'all can help out? Listen, like they say, closed mouths don't get fed. How we can help out is we gotta reach the goal and extra. That's how we help out. At the end of the day, we just got to reach it. I love y'all. Let's make it happen.
All right, man. You got it.
For sure. Appreciate y'all.
All right, Phil. Yeah, you have a good night, and I know we'll be talking soon, man.
My man.
Peace. If you come out to San Diego, definitely ping Kazra.
I'm thinking about it, man. So that Sunday is actually the last day. It's crazy because for some odd reason I thought it was this weekend. So I was like, man, I got too much going on. But now I'm like, if I can make a move next weekend, we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
The tickets were crazy right now because I sat there. I thought I wasn't going to be able to make it, but my tickets are already hooked up. I may be able to hit somebody up. If I get a spot without doing too much crazy, then I'm like, it may just work.
All right. Cool. So, yeah, well, let us know if you're gonna make the trip out. We'll definitely set you up. All right.
Appreciate you. Cool.
You got it. See you, Phil.
Peace.
All right. Well, there you go. Finding 52. It's on Kickstarter. There's 9 days left, and it's something that would be an interesting documentary. It's the first. He wants to put together first in a series of. I think probably like 30-minute segments, but the point is that it's going to touch on a lot of stuff that's got a historical significance to us as collectors, not just the cultural significance of first Black Panthers story in FF52. So something definitely to keep in mind. And it's been talked about for many years, the liberation of art from the Marvel warehouse. And it would be interesting to see someone take a more modern, approach to it, just to kind of document it and get some things discussed. But Marcus, I would never do that. All right, so where are we going to from here? I guess I can show the schedule, and we can talk a little bit about that. Then we can get Mr. Snork in here. I saw somebody wanted Snork's intro theme song to be played when he gets started. I'll see if I can load that up before we get to get him in the screen here. But so here we go. Upcoming schedule of events. It's full. Surprisingly, I didn't think I had that many things to put on here, but I do. So the Matt Allison interview that was supposed to happen on Tuesday got canceled. Matt had something come up that got in the way, but he and Matt Sardo will be doing that interview next Wednesday night. So while Kazra and I and Mr. DeTulio out in San Diego, Sardo will take care of that interview with Matt Allison. So for those of you not making the trip to San Diego, that would be a fun interview. It's going to be a collector-focused interview with Matt. As you know, many artists collect, and I think that I can only imagine what Matt Allison might have in his collection, but I'd certainly want to see it. And I'm not going to be able to watch it till I get back from San Diego, but tune in for that one. Then I got the San Diego dates in there. That's those are the main dates, Wednesday through, or is that Thursday through Sunday? Wednesday's preview night. So the show really starts then. But a couple things going on during San Diego that would be of interest. The Comic Book Legal Defense Fund is having a welcome party that it's a fundraiser as well. They tie in some art auction pieces, and a lot of manufacturers contribute stuff. I know there's some statues and some comics. We're going to be putting some art in it as well to support the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. They were one of the auction recipients from the charities that we had at OEX this year. So I know for certain Kazra's going to go, and I'd like to go as well if I'm able to squeeze it in. Then I know on Friday, Kazra's taking part. He's like the only non-lawyer on this panel of the Law of Collecting panel at noon. And so if you're up for wanting to, I mean, I know it's going to cover a lot of topics ranging from, just when you own art, do you really own art? And it's probably going to cover a lot of ground and things that are things that we don't talk about here on the channel, but I think a lot of us have at least more than a passing interest in the legalities of owning artwork and a few other things. So that will be at noon on Friday, and then the week after I got Hakes on, and after that I've got John Nasinovich doing Little John in the chat. We'll be chatting, and then I've got a lot of art related sales information in here. Jordan Joanna is going to be doing a drop on a Saturday. We have a regular Dueling Dealers between Mike and Anthony coming up. Gabriel Hardman is going to be doing an art drop. I haven't got a chance to talk with him yet. I like his art a lot, and I'm going to at least offer some suggestions on having him do some pre-done pieces as well, because I think that I mean, he's an incredible illustrator, and I know he's working on some Batman stuff, but to get him to bring some just some commission style pieces would be fun as well. So we got that, and Jay Gonzo got rescheduled. We got the Heritage Signature thing coming up on the 22nd, and then I talked with Tatiana on her birthday, which is September 30th. Everybody go out and buy her birthday card. She wants to do an art drop on the channel on a Wednesday night, a sketch card sale of X-Men, tying that into I forget what. But she said that her artists have been working on it for a while, and we'll probably have about 100 sketch cards to drop during that show. So that'll be fun. We haven't done a sketch card show with her in a while. I've been wondering when we might be able to squeeze one in. I think she even said that Near Levy has a few things that he's going to be releasing soon that we might do on the channel in maybe October. So there's some cool stuff coming up related to art buying opportunities that we've got here in the near future. So there you go. That is the full schedule. And I wasn't watching the chat at all, so I hope everybody got it. 300th episode. Yeah, I did put that on there. I think it's like worth noting now that we will have hit 300 of these, which is kind of crazy. It doesn't feel like 6 years have passed, but I mean clearly that's where we're at. First CAF update was in June of 2020, or maybe it was July. I remember we were just trying to figure out how to fill the vacuum between Comic Art Live 1 and 2, and the CAF update was a part of that. Early on, I actually did most of the interviews during the CAF update too. We would do an hour-long interview and then do a little CAF update, and it just evolved from there. So where I can see that Mr. Snork is in the green room, ready to rock and roll. And do I have a little? Yeah, I got it right. Here we go.
Light that cigar, baby.
Oh.
Wisconsin beer break. Comic Art head, watch him collect.
What's up, y'all?
There we go, man. Not much, man. Just the usual, getting myself set and psyched for San Diego. I've got I am flying out early, and there's I can't talk about the one thing I'm doing, but we'll talk about it when I get back. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be it's something happening on Sunday. But on Monday, I just found out from Jiggy, because he and JP and I think it might be Roy are going to Disneyland, and I'm going to be in Anaheim. So I'm like, all right, I'm going with you.
Cool.
So I'm going to the parks. We're going to hit the Avengers campus, and I forget what he said his top priority was. It wasn't the Avengers. Oh no, he was like, we all got to get on Smuggler's Run and do on the Star Wars ride and get some pictures.
For sure.
So we'll have a lot of fun imagery to show off when we get back from San Diego.
There's a couple of really good local California breweries that have Disney specific beers for Disneyland too.
They do not.
They do too.
You're gonna email me a little bit of info,
I'll see what's there and let you know what I think sounds good. But yeah, one of my one of the best stout breweries in the country, Horace, did a Disney collab. I don't know if they're still pouring it, but they do have a history.
Well, I'll have to try that. Yep. I forgot. Yeah, how's the smoke over there? I see CJ was like from Smoky, Wisconsin.
Yeah, it is heinous. Actually, my eyes have been watering in the house.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah,
it's a good thing all the art's in the basement on the walls.
Yeah, getting exposed to smoke, I suppose, in some small way. But yeah, it's crazy. It looks like all day today, it looked like it was foggy. Like the smoke is literally like down to like ground level.
That totally sucks. Yeah, I was watching. I'm curious where LeBron's going to go, right? So I tuned into a Cleveland radio show today, and the whole first like 10 minutes, all they could talk about was their eyes burning and And I'm like, boy, I'm glad I'm not in Northeast Ohio anymore.
Yeah, and they're saying worse tomorrow. So yeah,
Wow.
we'll see.
Marcus, that's if anything, it's got. I can't. Well, you know who I know. I know who I need to talk to related to that. I can't imagine why you don't have them already. But I will talk to our to. I know who to talk to. That doesn't make any sense, but I will get to the bottom of it, sir. Maybe they're trying to wait till they get everything in and ship everything to you at one time. But even then, you waited long enough. If anything's in hand, they should be mailed out as they come in. I'm totally in agreement with you on that. So I don't have any new art. I haven't gotten anything. I did actually buy a few pieces, but I'm going to be picking up some stuff at San Diego. So I don't have. Well, that's not true. I did. Wait a minute. So I say that, and we did have this IC3 in Jacksonville last weekend,
Yep.
which was very fun. And I hate to say it, I didn't take any pictures afterwards. I took more pictures of us setting up and then I didn't take anything while we were at.
I didn't see a lot of pictures at all. I saw a couple pictures in Newell, but
yeah, Newell got into a lot of pictures. I know on the CAF Facebook page and I think on Instagram as well, we posted a lot of pictures with the artists. A few things from the drink and draw, which was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
It was in this gastro pub, steampunk kind of environment, and the artists had a great time. It was pretty fun. I mean, I think overall it was a really good success. And
Cool.
yeah, Newell saw me and I go down, but I had no towels in my room. Right when I got there, and Maureen calls me like just as I get in the room, and the girls are coming with her. We're all in the room together. And Maureen's like, make sure they have enough towels for us. So I walked into the bathroom and I looked, and there wasn't a towel. So I went down to the lobby, and who do I run into at the front desk? Newell. He's just checking in. So he was nice enough to let me go first and get my towels beforehand. Let's see. But anyways, it was a very good weekend. It was a really good show. I did a big storm blew in on Saturday right at the end of the show. Power went out in the building right at like 5. It closed at 6. So power went out at like 5:30. And yeah, and you could just see the storm rolling in. So I packed up everything I could, threw it in the car, and I left. Even there was an after party, but it seemed like it passed. All the pictures I saw from the after party looked really fun.
Cool.
So yeah, it was good. And then before I go on, let's see. Wayne's asking about. There are a few people who asked me about picking apart at San Diego. More than I'll have the portfolio with me all the time. My base of operations will probably be DeTullio Art Collective's booth and Mike's booth. They're in the 4400 aisle. So I would probably say that I would, when I'm not there, go talk to Matt, and he'll let you know. Because if more than likely I'll leave the portfolio with Matt, and everything's going to be labeled with who needs to pick up their art. Wayne, you got art there. I know Marcus has a piece of art. There's a few people who are going to be picking things up. I do hang out with Berkey, Marcus. But see, so anyway, so I did pick up a couple things. So I got a Cyclops sketch from Keith Browning.
Oh, that's
from
cool.
the Artist Bullpen. I thought that was a good one.
Love it.
I kept walking by. His stuff was, he's got a really great style. And let's see, what else did I pick up? I got a small piece. This is from Jude Brown, who won the Dan T Award. It's kind of based on the tarot. This is the Tower, but it's like kind of a redemption piece. It's like I didn't read the book until I got the pieces, and this is like the second to last page where the knight, he's redeemed himself after like 20 pages of things that just didn't go right for him. So really nice. And Jude her art was fantastic. I got to talk with her for a few minutes, and then what else did I get? I just got a couple. During the drink and draw, a couple people gave me some stuff. Carlos Soco drew a picture of me with the man thing, saying that I looked. He said I looked like I was frightened the whole time I was there. So he who knows fear, it burns at the touch of the man thing. And I don't recognize his character, but Amin, he gave me this at the drink and draw. So we printed out these 5x5 cards that we're good for a little bit of PR on the back, and let the artist draw on the front, and then the artists took them in, and they sold them at the show. So I think that was all I got. I did get a metal cover comic that I've never had one before, and it had the IC3 and First Coast Comic Con on it. So, and that is I have no idea. I haven't opened it yet. I don't know what to expect from a metal cover comic. Have you ever gotten one?
No.
Yeah,
Can't say that
I mean,
have.
art's our thing. I mean, I don't get
Yeah.
it, but we're gonna find out. This is
I mean, foil back in the day, but not. Not.
no, this is like an
crazy.
aluminum cover. Anyway, so yeah, so I did pick up some art, but yeah, I'll have a couple cool pieces to show off when I get back from San Diego.
Awesome.
Nothing major, but one thing that I've been wanting to replace for a long time, something and not the piece I sold back in the day, but something from the same artist.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay, well, let's see. We got to get a CAF update wrapped up here. We got 50 minutes before the midnight hour, and let's see here. Where is my my heritage screen? I know I had it around here. Got too many tabs open as always. Here we go. Here we go. Why is that not working? So here we go. All right. Apologies. There was actually I could have picked a lot of different stuff this time around. There was good stuff all over the place related to Heritage this time around. I had this Kirby Machine Man piece I had to pick for it was just like too nice. Anytime you can get a good early Kirby Royer piece. This is from Machine Man 3. And it was funny that I forget which artist I was talking to at IC3, but they were like their dream piece to own would be a Kirby Royer piece, and they specifically said Machine Man. And I'm like, well, there's cheaper stuff out there, like Commandy or whatever. And they were like, no, if I ever get a Kirby, it's going to be a Machine Man page, but it has to be a great one. Royer inks. Yeah, I mean, come on, the first panel is awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, then you get Machine Man and all the panels after that. So that's a good one. What were these? Oh, that's right. There's like 2 pages from this Butch Geis X Factor book, which I didn't read, so I have no context here. I know that the female is not an X related character, but I just like kind of a different style for Butch Geis. I think it's pencil and inks. Clearly he's messing around with materials here as far as what he's using to draw with. Looks like some of this might have been marker because like around in her hair it's faded a little bit, but a lot of detail. And then even the bricks look like they were pencil, right? They've for the shading. We got bricks. So, but there was at least one other page from this book. So if you're a fan of what was it called, X Factor Prisoner of Love.
I never read that either.
There we go. Is that Marcus? You're crazy. All right, this one was cool. This is from 1967. Steve Ditko, Erie page, and I mean, come on, ink wash. This thing is freaking amazing. I love the laboratory panel. That's great, but all of them. I mean, it's I mean, I'll say okay. I'd say I throw a bit on it, but it's already at $1,600. I think a lot of people realize this is kind of a rare piece.
I was gonna say the same thing, Marcus. That's Panthro there on the bottom right.
It's now that you said it, I can't unsee that. You're right. It does look like Panthro. I didn't know Ditko had a hand in that. But yeah, that's a cool page. I bet you this is probably a top 3 piece next week, where we don't have a CAF update to report on it, but yeah, it's a pretty awesome one. Now this one I picked for Tom. I probably shouldn't have shown it off, but it is from ROM 31, and it's second appearance of Rogue. I think the next issue I have a page from 32, but just great, good stuff. I mean, I love Buscema on ROM, and this is Sinnat Inks, of course. And these, I don't know, I could own any page from Buscema and Sinnat on ROM, and I'd be happy. It is a badass page. Sorry, Tom, but I want to make sure you saw it. Then I did pick 2 Butch Geis pieces, because this one is actually totally different from CrossGen,
Oh, from
and
Rose.
it's from what is it, Ruse, right? And it's Mike Perkins inks on this one as well. I just thought, the composition on this thing is great. The whoever that is in the night, I don't know anything about Ruse, of course, but just the setup, right, with somebody in the armor,
Yeah.
looking at them. I just thought that it made me smile. So
And those two together, so I mean, so good that when they would not Ghost, when they would fill in on Captain America too, on the Epting run with Brubaker.
right.
Such a good, yeah.
All right, so everybody says Ruse is something that would be worth looking up. Okay, I had no idea. I mean, CrossGen was just something that, I read the hype because I was buying, I was getting Wizard at that point, and but I was like, I'm already buying enough books. I didn't buy a single
Yeah.
CrossGen book.
It was coming out when I worked in the store, and like the main thing that I remember from it is being exposed to Jim Chung and Steve McNiven. I mean, that was the real, slam bang as far as CrossGen was concerned in my mind.
Well, very cool cover.
Yep.
Then this next piece, I pick a lot of Gene Colan, but I should have had Big Phil on when I pulled this one up. But this is from MCP 29, so it's a title page. But I just thought it was really, really well done. Tom Palmer inks over Colan, full splash, just fun. I mean, Palmer's inks really make this thing awesome. But as a title page, with the words carved into the rock, basically looking at it, I think it's just awesome. Oh, it's
Really
a chapter splash, I guess. Is it? Yeah. No, yeah, it is page 9. So it's a chapter splash, not a title page for the book. Either way, really nice piece. Diodato, Dark Avengers #2 splash. I thought this was a very nice page too. Although I didn't read Dark Avengers, so I have no context.
I think this was one of the very last things he did before he went digital too.
Well, it's a little symmetrical, but solid. Then it was funny. Then I went from that one and I saw this one. I just thought it was funny. It's like flipping Iron Man over. But this is Armando Gil with inks by Mike Mignola.
Huh.
Savage, Khazar the Savage, and it's from 1983. So I saw an interesting piece. I mean, I know that's just a bunch of pterodactyls and a snake and a female. I don't understand. Is she lying down? There's a lot of weird symbolism, I guess, going on here, but very cool piece. Then Galassi. I think there's a couple Galassis in here. This was it's on Duotone board, but I thought this was cool. I mean, it says it was inked by Charles Yoakum, but kind of cool stuff. It was funny. At IC3, Jimmy Palmiotti had a stack of Galassi penciled pages that he inked.
Yeah.
And Galassi's, the way he draws the figures, male or female, is just so distinct. It doesn't matter. And I thought about buying a couple, and then it was funny. It was right before the show, and so I got to look at it. I felt like I looked at more art in the 10-minute window than I did at OAX. But then I got called to do something, and I walked away, and I never went back and looked at the pages. So, but it was true. He brought like 300 pages, $100 pages.
Wow.
Now I know. But it was from stuff the titles I had no idea. And then there were a couple of good Batman covers that were in there, so I wanted to pick one. This was Carlos de Anda. This is from Batman Arkham City 4. I think there's even a Simon Bisley Batman cover, but I didn't really like it, and I don't know. It was like one of those like an off Batman book.
It's bordering on absolute Batman biceps there.
Indeed. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's like he's holding a baby's head, right?
Yeah.
The crook of his elbow. But either way, I thought this was a pretty cool image, and there were again a couple other Batman pieces in there that were pretty solid cover wise. But I chose this one, so there's my that's my heritage picks for the week. As if we haven't looked at enough heritage artwork tonight. All right, EXP Nick Barucci. We got Nick. We got to watch Nick earlier today too, but I think Nick is doing a second Christmas in July episode back to back. So I think I didn't watch a lick of it, but we can see what he's bringing to his sale tomorrow at 7 right now.
Everybody, this Friday, July 10th, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, the original art experience. We'll have original art, but we're also going to celebrate Christmas in July, which means, Amy, we need to find Rudolph. And
I think they sent me the wrong video. Is that the same one from last week, or does he just
yeah, that was a repeat.
All right, then the video he sent me was not the right one. That's weird. Okay, well I guess we won't see that. But Nick, I know he's doing a second Christmas in July because I had to go get the link to put in the email today, and I saw the show graphic and it said part 2 to Christmas in July.
So you weren't just fooled by the duplicate video then?
No, I mean, well, again, I almost never watch them. I just download them and load them up in the studio, and I play them here for everybody. But that was the video that I downloaded today that I swear they linked to me. I don't think I went back to an old email. But at any rate, you know where he's going to be. 7 o'clock tomorrow. EXP on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitch. He's everywhere. So there we have it. You ready for the CAF update?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see. I got to get. I want to make sure I got our artwork queued up and ready to go, and then I can race away with this thing. But where are you? There's that. And
So you're ready to fly across the country?
not really. It's an early flight on Sunday. I think I'm leaving at 7 a.m. I get into LAX at 9 a.m. The thing I'm going to do there is like at 5. So there's a couple things I can do. They have that Torpedo doesn't do their show anymore. You know, that pre-San Diego show that they used to do, but someone else has taken it up. So there is actually some show near LAX where I know like Albert's going to be there, Glenn, Will, Anthony, Bashara. So I might like run into there just to kill some time. I'll have a rental car, so I might hit that and then go up to you know, what I'm going to do. But okay, CAF update. Let's do that. That's for the week July 6th through the 12th. And what do we got? Dealers 250,000. Well, it was 253,000 compared to 271 the week before. Kind of thought it was going to be bigger, you know, with Felix's drop. So I think maybe a lot of his stuff just isn't fully recorded yet. Although I know he did sell an Ian Bertram complete issue for, I think it was 75,000. We're going to see that here.
Yeah.
So Berkey actually had more sales. He had 10 sales and 109,000. So yeah, Felix doesn't look like he recorded anything but his complete book. So okay, I bet you then Felix is going to have a really big. He's either going to stockpile his sales because he's gone. I think he left for San Diego today too, or something. Yeah. So he might not have a major update till like the first week in August. Then that'll cover his. Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a look at our top 6 sales then from dealers and move along from here. So first up, from Berkey, and he has all caps, historic very first Bagley ASM cover, Spidey and Nova, and the Tri-Sentinel. So who would have guessed? $90,000 for this one. It's Spidey 351. Emberlyn inks as well in that. And then here's just the image to the cover to Precious Metal issue 3. The complete book was sold for $75,000. So congrats to Ian for that one. That's some good money. Then speaking of Kirby Royer, we got an Eternals 16 page. That one was sold by Mike as well. Then over at Catskill Comics, this Justice Society of America, I think it was just, I don't know if it was published or not. I forget that well, if Colin were in the chat, he could let us know, but it went for $4,500.
If it's signed Best Wishes, I'm guessing it was a commission.
I didn't even notice that. I was reading off a script. Albert, Bruce Timm, hard-boiled cover. What is this? Issue 10 went for $4,000. And then another Bruce Timm sold by Albert. This was a Wolverine #1 sketch. Ooh. So this one went for $3,500. Sorry, I'm reading a text here from Maureen. Oh, Nothing. It was a duplicate text. I thought she was going to be texting me about something else. Oh well. We were well. We'll probably talk about that when we get back. So that's our dealer sales for last week. We already kind of went over the big Heritage auction stuff, so we can take a look at just the top 3 from eBay and the top 3 from the Heritage Weekly last week. And let's see what we got. eBay I know did about 108, and the Heritage Weekly did about 215, all skewed by the 14.4 million from the other auction. Over at eBay, this was a complete story. Don Martin. It says 5,000, and I couldn't find it in that 130 point. So it's quite possible that was the right price. This Kevin Maguire Justice League International page from issue 4 was listed at $39.50. It went for $34.75.
I believe we know the owner of that piece.
Then we have this Jack Kirby Superpowers 1 DPS, and it was listed as at a fixed price, $34.99, and I'm pretty sure it said it sold at that price too. No make offers. Then over at Heritage, you get the John Buscema Conans again, doing well, still doing well.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all just great examples. Although I didn't see one in this current weekly one, probably maybe because it ends on during San Diego. But then 2 Kirby unpublished pieces. This Rick Jones piece went for $6,438, and then this also unpublished Sue Storm FF page went for $57.50. I mean, they're kind of rough, right? But at the end of the day, raw Jack Kirby pencils.
Yeah.
I liked it when we saw the first piece 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they're still cool, and clearly people want them.
Yeah.
So who got that piece?
Our friend Tom.
Tom. He's always a buyer.
Yeah.
And he loves his Kevin Maguire.
He sure does.
Okay. Well, then we can dive into
that piece is on CAF as we speak.
Is it really already on CAF? Man, either the fast shipping or Tom can't wait to share. But probably a little bit of both. And all right.
Could be a bit of both.
All right, I'm swinging over to my next screen here to get it loaded in, and we'll talk about our picks, man.
All right.
And where are we here? Okay.
I thought that was a really nice example. I mean, you get Booster Gold, who's, arguably kind of the focus of that, arc, and the Royal Flush Gang on there, hard to beat.
No, I agree. Now, was this your first piece in the list? I'm trying to.
So?
Yeah, it was, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, cool. I thought I maybe had missed a piece of yours. So, okay, so we are in the collection of Gary Land, who did go premium, everybody.
Hey.
The shaming on YouTube worked. He actually, when I thanked him for the payment, he said that the shaming worked, and I told him that I was just trying to keep him hold him to what he wrote at the on his main gallery page. Did you see that?
No.
Okay, here I'll open it up because he probably wrote this like 20 years ago, but he says, "Don't be a cheap ass, buy a premium membership to this site."
Hey,
that was on there the whole time.
Wow.
It was one of the days when I left the windows open, with one of his pieces. I went to his page, and I'm like, son of a bitch, even he's telling himself he should go premium. And so I didn't say anything to him, but when he emailed me, I said, just trying to keep you honest, man.
Yep.
So he did. So he went premium. He actually updated the thing cover too. Just so you know, he uploaded some new images to give us some better stuff. But here, great Keith Giffen. I picked a Keith Giffen piece as well from a close friend of yours, but this is yours. So,
yeah, I think this is it's a great Giffen. More importantly, I mean, in my mind, as far as contributors to Darkseid are concerned, I think he's way up there. As far as how writers and artists handle the character, he's, one of the best to do it, whether it's in Legion or, wherever it might be. He's one of, I think the biggest contributors to the character. So from that standpoint, a cool, significance to this piece, at least to me. But I really liked more the the high contrast stuff that he has going on, and the screens on the left there. But just a really picture perfect take on Darkseid.
No, I agree. When I saw this piece, I thought it was awesome, and I love the hand in the foreground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic, and I had so much so that I had to pick another Giffen piece in a little bit here.
You were
But
inspired.
congrats to Gary Land. He keeps digging the stuff out of his collection and bringing it out finally. And now they're all gigantic scans, just the way
That's
we like
awesome.
them. What is this? Wayne's reminding us the Great Darkness Saga is an amazing Legion story, and that is true. All right, so this is in Alexander collection. Somebody from France. Oh yeah, that's right. Just absolutely beautiful piece, and this is one I wish we had a bigger scan of, but the composition's amazing. The detail in this piece is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's weird and it's bold.
Yeah.
And like it feels Simonson-esque to me in
Sure.
many ways, to the point where like I had never really considered that maybe Drie was an influence on him, but after seeing this, I'm like, wow. I mean, one way or the other, they were influencing one another. So even the the designs to some extent are of that ilk. But anyway, yeah. So like you said, very cool composition. It's insane looking, which is, I mean, the thumbnail absolutely like lapped out at me, but a lot of fun stuff to look at on here. And I think, somebody that, as an artist, I don't necessarily associate with this kind of stuff. Like, European artists tend to like stay in like one lane. And this is not the lane that I think of with Drie.
No, I'm with you. And I didn't think Simonson initially, but you're right. I mean, the layout, while the line work is more fine here. I mean, I could see Simonson doing a page quite like this, compositionally and stylistically, meaning with the planets and stuff. Now, it's a very cool piece, and I did see this one. I don't know if I would have picked it, but it leapt out at me as well, and so I'm glad you picked it. This is in their European Masters room. So a 16-year veteran of comic art fans just celebrated in June. Watched by 29, and let's see. I'm going to add him to my watch list.
Let's go.
There we go. Yes. Next up, Ben Johnson. Oh, that's right. Yeah, this one's a crazy looking piece from, and this is Cranky. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody needs a Cranky or Cronky in their.
I think.
I think so too. I mean, this work is so cool, so kinetic, different, and
but like when I saw this, I was like, oh man, like anybody who would commission him to do an Extreme Studios character would be so happy, right? Because he really, I mean, he's kind of like paying homage to that era, those styles, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, to your point, this reads as his stuff, but it just so happens that we talk about this all the time. Like you happen to pick a character that like this artist is able to like knock out of the park.
Agreed. Yeah, no, that's cool. They're very, very cool. Marcus says it's splat. It does have I get it's the character, but I mean
Michaels or
exactly. But no, very cool. I think his work is awesome, and he would be I think we've discussed he'd be a great mystery sketch edition if he were up for it.
Can you imagine the Thor that he would draw for you?
No. But I think I would love to commission him.
Yeah.
To give it a try. Definitely. Wow. Well, so congrats to Ben Johnson. Did he say where he picked that up? Did he get it at no, he didn't mention.
I'm gonna guess Heroes.
It probably would have been a Heroes pickup. Oh look, there's Megan's giant size X-Men piece for the Hero Initiative, right there in the list. Those auctions are ongoing, everybody, and thank you for supporting that show last week. Gab R. I'm not familiar with Gab R. Oh, look at somebody who's been on the site 19 years, and I don't feel like I've seen their name before. Gab R. Breccia. This is about this isn't as minimalist as you can get, Chris, but
it's right there.
It's right there.
And also, like, for Breccia, like, this is not the norm by any stretch of the imagination. So I loved the, the bluish gray tone stuff that was going on in the backgrounds of these panels. It's so boiled down. It kind of reminds you of like what we see from Jeffrey Allen Love these days.
Very true.
Yeah, at least particularly, that first panel, but like compositionally, I think as well. And you have to be able to, I'm sure I've said this a bunch of times, but like, in order to get this simple, you have to be so good. And we all know what Breccia is capable of. And so to see him like boil everything that he's capable of doing down to executing something that's this minimalist is just an impressive feat in my mind.
No, I completely agree. I mean, when I think of Breccia, you're right. This is different for him, but compositionally, I think it feels just like him. And I think it's very cool. I didn't think Alan Love yet, but Jeffrey's work is clearly, I see it now. It makes so much sense. But very, very cool piece. Number one Marvel fan says good. He likes it as well.
Yeah, I love it.
And Mike D says it's a great one too. No, I agree. Breccia's stuff is, it's like an acquired taste, but it's solid and it's unique, and he worked on so many things during that era that this is unlike anything I've ever seen by him.
Like, just look at the positioning on the headsman figure in the top right panel.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing there, but like that gestural pose, is just executed with, again, nothing, but like his body language, like, exactly what's about to happen. I mean, it's tremendous.
I completely agree. So Gabar, 19-year person. Oh, look, I'm watching his calf gallery.
Hey,
how do I not recognize his name? That's funny. Well. Oh, okay. I know who this guy is. All right. Okay.
It's funny. We know people by their art.
Right? Right. I recognize the art because that's like probably, some of the stuff he has. I know that's why I would have watched his gallery. Because I'm like, oh, he's got some cool stuff. But name, didn't recognize it.
Yep.
Next up, Donald Mock. All right. Okay. Been on the site 12 years. I don't feel like I've seen that name before, but we got a nice Tex MCP Ghost Rider page with Wolverine too. Shoot.
Yep. Like, just a great page from the era. I mean, Tex, arguably, I think, doing his best work at this time. I mean, right around here anyway. To be totally honest though, Kids Love Chains, like that fourth panel, like that made the whole thing for me. Like, what a cool choice to just have like the chain like arcing across the entire middle of the page. You get the one little sound effect, but it's like, I don't know. It's a ballsy choice in a way, right? To just, I'm just going to put the chain right here, and like, you're going to know what's going to happen next. So I don't know, like definitely my favorite period for his stuff is this. Him on Ghost Rider, obviously, him on Wolverine, obviously, and you get them both on this page.
Right. Yeah, I love the arrows, and then it is a fun piece.
Yep.
And it looks like a little duo shade or something on there, right? Or zip?
I think zip. Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, no, it's a very nice piece. I've always wanted to get something from this era from Teixeira.
Yeah,
definitely.
Me too. Preferably Punisher, but definitely Ghost Rider's right there too.
Yep. Well, congrats to Donald Mock from the US. Then Hoarder's Hide. Wow. You know that
This is
it,
nuts.
it is insane. So it's Jimenez with Andy Lanning inks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you were Lanning and you saw these pencils come across your desk, wouldn't you be like, F this? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
buildings alone.
wow.
Like
I
he's
mean,
putting Perez to shame here.
right. Oh, totally. There's too much detail in the buildings. I mean, yeah. I mean, but look at there's detail in everything. All the damaged car. I mean, he's not leaving anything to question. You know,
Dude,
you
each one of those inset panels is like a vignette, like kind of unto itself. Like they all have a little, you know, super important story beat in them. You get Captain Marvel laid out there. You know, you get, I think it's one of Felix Faust's demons up there in the front, or something very similar with his tongue hanging out. The Spectre in Batman's uniform. I mean, this is just you know, if you're a quote unquote Crisis fan, if you're a DC fan, this thing is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and we know Horticide loves Spectre, so I mean, this is in the right collection for sure. I love Wayne says if Andy was Coletta, there'd be a lot of white space.
Or black.
Right, or black, right. One or the other. He would have outlined a lot of stuff. But my gosh, the amount of but see, the thing is Andy was up for the task, right? He didn't skimp at all.
He didn't shy
Stayed
away.
True to no.
I mean, the one spot black you get is pretty legit. It's like the interior of Spectre's cape in the upper left.
Yeah. Yeah, and that just works compositionally so well.
Right,
It can pull you in. Yeah, this is a pretty unbelievable page. I love Jimenez's work too. I haven't seen anything by him that I haven't really enjoyed a lot, and yeah, that's cool. So congrats, Hoarder's Hide, for adding that one to your collection. Now, Matt Sardo. Oh yeah, I got to see this one. Matt Allison. I mean, you know, I'm like, what is Sardo taking at my Thor thing, right? Doesn't you know, he can go anywhere he wants, but he had to go Thor with Allison. And oh no, it works. I'm kind of jealous because, you know, I mean, I'd love to get something Thor related from Matt. I got the Cyclops from him, you know, the first OAX, but
well, maybe Sardo's not too attached to this yet, you know.
Yeah, maybe. But either way, come on, totally cool. Celestial, you know, Thor and
like
Matt
Allison Crackle.
Right. I mean,
you know?
Matt's like, I mean, the more, you know, I know Kazra said this to me and I completely agree. Matt's like one of the best illustrators in the game today.
You can't argue. You cannot argue it.
Not at all. I mean,
and like, I kind of wonder, like, in a like morbidly curious way, like if he were interested in inking, like, and you could get him to ink, I don't even know who you would pick, right? But like, he is such a spectacular inker. Like, and if you like put him inking a book where he could just go nuts with his microns, like, I have to wonder what that would look like. Because he's, I mean, I'm not like dogging his penciling. That's incredible too. But like, in my mind, this shows his strength.
Right. Yeah. And Rich says it's pretty straight for Matt.
Yes.
At the beginning of weirdness. I'm okay with that. When I saw it, I was like, shit. I mean, I like it. I mean, I don't, it doesn't have to be weird. You know, we think of Kankor and everything. And, but
he gets his weirdness out in the Celestial, you know?
Yeah. Like, I mean, in the way he's drawn Thor, I mean,
able to work
the anatomy, to me, it's just his inking style. I mean, when the way he's handling the blacks here in the uniform, I mean, I love this. I mean, it was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
And I mean, great poses, really nice interaction between the figures. Like, I mean, maybe it is because this is a little, to Rich's point, this is a little straight for Matt, but like, I think this is one of the best things I've seen him do in recent memory.
There you go. I mean, because he's super consistent on everything else he does.
Absolutely.
I do, but I like this. no cankerization or not. Yeah. Oh, but Marcus says inking alone pays too little. All right, so we might not see that
Just
happen.
a thought exercise, you know.
Yeah. This was a beauty from Mike's Calf Gallery, Alan Davis, and it's from it was an unused pitch piece.
Right.
That's
Which makes me
criminal.
wonder how the hell, why wouldn't they use this?
I can't even imagine. I mean, it's freaking unbelievable with the core and
Yeah,
I mean,
so
that's
many
just-
cool, like, you know, new alien designs. And I love, as much as I love Alan Davis on Excalibur, I think I loved him the most on his Elseworlds books.
Mm.
So he did the nail, and like for me, seeing Alan Davis at DC, I got such a huge charge out of that. And so seeing this, like content wise, was an absolute slam dunk for me. I got really excited when I saw this. Off-White, you know, huge Alan Davis fan, huge Green Lantern fan.
Yeah.
So, you know, kudos to him for picking this up, because I think like this is amazing.
Wow, I love the hippo-ish vibe going on with that. But I agree, and you're right. He is a huge Green
Like, I
Lantern
wonder if
fan.
that's supposed to be Kilowog.
Right. I mean, you're right. I guess
This is a pitch, you know.
Mhm. Wow. Well, I love Alan Davis's work, and this is stunning. Yeah. Wow. So yeah. Well, congrats to Mike. I mean, doggone it. It is beautiful. I didn't
You're doing the same thing I was doing when I was picking it. I just kept looking back like, oh
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I do. I've never really seen like a cover piece by Alan that I'd want to buy. And then, but you see, he's so damn talented. It
Yeah.
almost shouldn't matter. I mean, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, you know, I could have this in my collection and I'd be happy, because it's just the detail, the style. I mean, it's everything you love about Alan.
Plus, aside from Hal, he designed all of those aliens, all of those core members.
And that makes it all the better.
And is that Tomar Ray in the foreground? Is that supposed to be Arisia on the left? Like, you just wonder.
Mm-hmm. Bill likes DC. I'm getting there, Marcus.
I'll get him someday, but I'll get him someday.
Hey, I just read that OMAC, the 4 issues of OMAC.
How'd you?
I had no idea what it was. Actually pretty good.
It's weird. It's
It
weird.
was weird. It
Yeah.
was definitely it was strange, and I had to go back a couple times and like read the page before, because I'm like, how did that happen?
Right.
All right. How did I was did I skim that a page, because it made me do that. So I don't know. But now I have some context to the art that I think it was Anthony had a page from that. I don't know. I assume that's probably why Jeff ended up giving them to me, because I remember commenting they were on the Duo Shade board, or I
Mhm.
believe, and yeah, just I'm like, this is a weird looking story, and it was.
Yep. It's a weird story. The original OMAC was super weird. Like the Kirby OMAC was just insane.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
It's
'cause-
always been like a real wild concept, high concept book, but
Mhm. Well, it was nothing like what I thought OMAC was going to be about. So I don't know if since you remember the story, I mean, was it kind of in line with what is possible for?
thematically, yes.
Okay. All right, I'll read some more. But this is in Jiggy's Calf Gallery, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Jiggy's a lucky guy. I absolutely love this piece, and I know I've picked another one of these, this theme of commission before
Mhm.
from him.
Yeah.
But man, this one is so long on atmosphere and so short on detail, and I love both of those things. You know, kind of keeping in the same vein as the Breccia piece. Like, he goes all in on the bridge, and he goes absolutely insane compositionally here, and everything else is like kind of inconsequential. But when you start looking for things and you see them, like there's kind of a joy to that. Like, there's a little like moment of delight when you realize, oh, the moon. Okay, the moon is highlighting, you know, Goblin and Gwen Stacy, and then there's little Spidey. He's just, you know, like knocked out of the, you know, the tone and white, and you get the trailing, the web trailing away, and the composition of it, it looks like a theater lobby card to me, or like something you would see in the in the old days in the front of a theater to like showcase a specific scene from a movie that you're about to see. So it's got that going for it too. I think it's really well designed, and it's really cleverly shot.
I completely agree, and Marcus beat me to it. The fade is awesome. Yeah, I love it. Is it's so atmospheric, and you look at the just loose lines he's adding in here for the rest of the
the cables and
the cable. Right. It's just amazing how how he can kind of like keep that focus. I'm just going to keep making these just simple lines, and then it's just, I love John's work. He's got an interesting eye, and I totally dig everything he does. And so does Jiggy. He's buying his own.
If like I said, Jiggy's lucky to have this one. I think this is maybe not my favorite, but it might be the best from this series of commissions that he's done.
Well, Rick Welch says creative genius. Hard to argue that.
The eye for sure.
All right, I don't think I put no, I did put a like on it. All right. Do I follow Jiggy? I don't know. Oh my gosh, sorry, Jiggy. I fixed it right there. I watched it now. I can't have that happening.
Jiggy, if you're watching this back, just understand that it took Bill, I think, 2.5 years to watch my gallery. So
I'm sorry, everybody. I'm making up for it. I'm making up for it now. Mr. Lovitz, I knew you had to pick this one, man.
Come on.
If you didn't, I would have probably picked it because look at it.
Say what you will about Rich Buckler. That is it's inked by Sinnott, which to me makes this basically beyond reproach, like immune to criticism, or whatever you want to say. Sinnott, arguably one of the pinnacle thing artists, just based on contributions alone. But that image of of the spoiler alert of the Thing suit is just a top notch illustration of my very favorite character.
No, I knew it. I knew you were going to pick this one. Lovitz, he's got a good eye. He's got great taste.
Yeah, loves the FF.
He has a thing for the FF as well. But this was just too awesome.
And how many pages in the entirety of this the history of the characters do you have the Thing and Ben Grimm on the same page? Not many.
No, not too often. I mean, I think there was one. Wasn't there one Marvel 2-in-1 book somehow that had?
Yes, both things. Yes.
Right. Right.
I think it was number 50.
Okay, but yeah, no, not often. And so yeah, this is great.
Yeah,
Lovitz is an amazing collector, and he's been on the site since 2003, May of 2003. Holy crap, he joined in the first 3 months.
Wow,
that's commitment right there. And it was Buckler Sinnott, everybody, if you didn't know. So yeah, no, a good way to end your pick.
Thank you.
Now, let's see here. I picked a lot of easy stuff. You probably glanced over some of it.
This is an absolute slam dunk.
Yeah, because this is John and Palmer, of course, so John Buscema and Tom Palmer. And a lot of times, we see a lot of Avengers pages from this era, and they just don't, I don't know, they don't have, they're heavy Palmer inks, and you don't see enough Buscema in it. And this is, what issue is this? This is Avengers 266. And then you see something like this, and you're like, oh my gosh. Can you imagine if this was the quality of everything? I'm not saying the quality was low, I mean, at all, but my goodness, what a run. This is, I mean, these pages would be worth like double, because they're out there today regularly, at prices that you that are affordable. But you look at this, and it's like, look at the detail in the lava and the cave.
I think the difference is and this is pure speculation on my part, but knowing what we know about kind of where John was at in his career at that point, I
Mhm.
think that it was the passion, right? And if I had to guess, and I do, I think like drawing Silver Surfer in this particular instance was like, yeah, like let's go.
It's got it again. Yeah, I that's got to be a part of it. But I just when I saw this one, I was like, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah,
just so
this
nice.
one hits, yeah, for sure.
It really does. And as a title page, I love the composition of it, the banner across the top. I mean, it's just it's beautiful.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful.
Great.
And it does say actually John Buscema breakdowns. So that's all right. Marcus says like later burn some characters, fire them up.
Yeah,
that's true too. Very fair to say, Marcus.
Get a little bit inspired.
Mm-hmm. Then now let's see. This is Mikhail's Calf Gallery. Rouvel. When I saw this one, I just knew it made a great image for the show, and I love it. One of the piece that I'm going to be picking up at San Diego is actually a Daredevil page. So I've had Daredevil on the brain for the last week, looking at some pieces, and but this I just love the composition on it. I love the way Rouvel is. It's this top, the top of the spire that he's on is just kind of rough hewn. And I just love the lighting. I love the solid purple background just as a design. It's very graphic for me, but I love it. I mean, I really think this is just a great piece. And I don't know if I didn't read Mikhail's description, so I don't know if he commissioned for this one or if this might have been an art drop with Jiggy, but so well done.
Yeah, I think the hyper saturation of the purple and the red give this like in a weird way, it makes me think of like a photograph that you took that was like underexposed. So the lighting of this, like it doesn't feel lit, it feels captured. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it definitely does. Yeah, I think this is a fantastic piece. And I saw Brian Peck. I do believe, that other piece, the Buscema Palmer was duo shade. But congrats, Mikhail. You got a good one. And I saw a lot of people were commenting on it because they thought it was awesome too. Then I thought this piece was awesome. This is in Andre's Calf Gallery. I did not put a like on it yet, though.
Good old Andre.
Yeah, June Brigman. I mean, when I saw this, it's just not something that I would have. I guess maybe I don't see or follow or see.
I thought the same thing. See
June Brigman pieces out there. Yep. I just wasn't expecting something as interesting as this, as painterly as this. I mean, you see it and you're like, shoot, I want to get something from June Brigman. What was that? I had no idea that.
Yeah. And in a weird way, like stylistically or tonally, whatever you want to say, like it's like from the era that we know Andre knows and loves for the characters, which I also thought like, really, June? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, it's gorgeous, even with his watermark on there. It drove me a little crazy. I almost used this for the show graphic, and I was like, oh, I can't use it because of that. I can't clean that up. But Andre posted another piece that I actually had two pieces from Andre in my selection.
Oh, what was the other one?
What was the other one? What was the other one? It was the Phil Hester. I thought this was
wow.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I love, Phil's he's just got such a unique style, and this is like almost verges on like this rusty, grotesque
it's got like a horror vibe.
It does, and but I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Edward Scissorhands meets I don't know a trash compactor. Yeah, Pumpkinhead. There you go, perfect. So I had this one as my pick for the longest time until I was like, I can only pick one. I gotta go with the Brigman.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to go with this one. This one got a lot of attention all week. Right. I mean, deservedly so. Jim Lee, Scott Williams, Magneto. I mean, this is such a damn good piece. And
The only time in my life I ever gave two, never mind. I ever gave a darn about Magneto.
I get it. I get it. I mean, it's funny. I mean, I remember the cover to this one too, because when I had to go pick up my back issues and stuff. Again, just a great issue, great image, and clearly a lot of people felt very passionately about this piece because they commented a lot and they got a lot of views. Maybe not as many as Carl Choi's piece the week before, but it was the thing that got, I think, the most attention on CAF.
Well, it's nice. Peak Lee Williams and it's peak Magneto. So.
Mm-hmm. And I got my like on it. Jordan Seymour. All right, a couple more pieces here. This was in Steve Davich's CAF gallery. Danielle Hubbard,
but yeah.
Hubbard. I guess Hubbard makes more sense. I'm trying to go European on us, but
you could be right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I would say.
Are we familiar with this artist? Because I don't think I've run into the name before. All right, good. I'm glad. Love this piece. It's so soft, yet it has everything's clearly defined. All the right pieces are clearly defined. Right? The bandage on his arm to his hand. I mean, the detail in the face. But I love the loose quality. You could say, oh, it feels a little Sienkiewicz, but there's something about it that doesn't feel like, that when I look at it.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, maybe the white and the purple at the bottom, I could see that.
This is the part that, it's like that. It I don't know. I mean, but that's what makes it feel less like that. I feel less like a Sienkiewicz piece because of these big.
I like the not tight concentric circles for his power effect. Like everybody draws that the same way, right? It's the sonar, blips or whatever that he's like sending out. So the fact that that's a little loose and loosey goosey, what this made me think of when I saw it was it's almost like he's trying to illustrate that Daredevil just took a solid shot to the head.
Mm-hmm.
He's like Daredevil's not all there. And so you get this wispy, dreamy, he's kind of in and out of consciousness vibe.
Right. No, it's totally, I love it. Rich J says this guy sleeps with the Sienkiewicz graphic novel under his pillow at night.
It's working then.
It is, yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is. Either way, Mr. Davich, congrats. Another good find. I think he's commissioned a few artists of late that I wasn't familiar with, but Hubbard. Now I'm going to say Hubbard from now on. Daniel Hubbard. A couple more pieces here from me. So Brian Bolland, I forget who's. Kareem El Rafi.
I was going to pick this one.
I just thought. I mean, I love the way Robin's drawn here, and then you get this weird. Grecian theme. I have no idea who the characters are in the back, but I mean, come on, the Odyssey is opening tomorrow. I don't know. I love this piece, and I really, really love the way Robin's drawn on this one. I love, he's kind of, I don't know, like espionage going into this thing, but he's Robin. I mean, he's totally botched it, and somebody's going to cold cock him right now.
Boy hostage.
Yeah, exactly. Batman to the rescue.
These covers, they haunt me because every time I see one, I'm like, why did they have Brian Bolland on Robin covers? Have you ever thought that? He did a bunch of these.
Right. I don't know, but he lent a maturity to him, especially in this drawing, at least. And I mean, this is just absolutely to help it sell, says Marcus. All right. That is probably true, but and apparently King's, what is this? Somebody's the father of Bane. See, I have no idea.
King Snake, the guy who's about to cold cock Robin or rabbit punch Robin.
Yes, an Odyssey pick for me tonight. But either way, I thought this was brilliant. I love the composition. It's Bolland. And it's, oh man, I wish he still worked traditionally. So just
Yeah.
imagine how much. I mean, he'd be
How much
wealthier.
more there
We'd
would
be
be.
happier. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Then from Newell, Newell gets a lot of stingrays, and I don't pick them all, but
He does?
yeah.
That's when.
So this is from Joseph Karg, who was at Heroes. I didn't actually make it over to talk to Karg, but I know Kazra did. But I just thought this was. I love the colors in this piece. The composition's totally cool. Yeah, I mean, I
Palette, right? Like a
yeah,
turquoise
exactly.
the
It's
orange and
lu-
the blue, and even the red has like that rusty, like orangey tone, so it's not like too far off.
No. I mean, the more I like this piece a great deal. I should have went over and tried to commission something from this guy, because I don't know what he would come up with, right? I mean, I don't know what the what were the keywords that Newell
Parameters.
gave. Do you just say stingray? I mean, do you throw anything else out there when I mean, stingray? Well, Newell could tell us, but yeah, I mean, clearly he had a lot of freedom to play around, and it came out great.
Yeah, and he does the cool, he bisects the page not only with color, but like thematically, because he's got the, the above and below the waterline stuff going on. I mean, I think compositionally it looks like, it looks like a cover in a lot of ways.
Very cool. What does Newell say? This was Stingray meets ... Let Joe pick. Well, it came out great, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is it's cool. Is there a lot of work by him on the website? 24 pieces. I mean, that's cool, Spidey. Look at the black and white.
Green Lantern core character, Karg.
Oh, look, yeah, and he even did one of the pages in that Dark Knight Returns book. That's cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fits. I mean,
and a good one.
Yeah, very good. All right, yeah, he'd make a good mystery sketch artist as well. Then Derek Crabb, Tim Truman piece from something I've never heard of before, Guns of the Dragon.
There's Hell's Hammer right there.
I mean, look at that. The composition. I picked it. Honestly, I picked it straight for the composition and because I love Tim Truman's artwork. But I mean, it's busy. I mean, I don't think a lot of people would have like the nerve to lay these like two panels over this image, because this is such a great image of them, and then you cover it up, but it all works.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love the inking. When I think of like Kubert Enemy Ace, I mean, I feel like this is a cool kind of transition from Kubert to a Truman influenced kind of thing, and I love it. I really, when I this was like one of the first pieces I picked, and I just love it. I mean, the composition is challenging.
It's super fun.
Yeah, definitely. And it does have Joe Kubert elements in it, Rich. I mean, he's riffing on it. I mean, some of the line work here, I mean, throughout, but it still feels Truman to me.
Yeah. Well, I think, I mean, you could argue that he's influenced at all times by Joe.
True. Yeah, I agree. Congrats, man. You did really well with this one. But I've never heard of Guns of the Dragon. So, and it made it to issue 2. 2 more here, and then I'm getting tired. We have a Fantastic Four by John Byrne, and this is from 247. I always liked the way John Byrne drew Mr. Fantastic. I mean, there's just something about it. I mean, look at that. I mean, everybody, I can't say that I dislike the way anybody else drew him, because I'm probably, I'm trying to, but there was a quality about the way Byrne made him stretchy, and made his hands bigger. It felt like drapery. I mean, there was something about the way he
when he would like stretch flat, like Byrne is so good with dimensionality. Like he feels flat, like he feels like he's like curving and stretching this way at the same time. And I totally know what you're saying.
Yeah. So I picked it really for that panel more than anything, because I was like, I love the way he drew him. Reed Richards
I would be thrilled to have this as a thing, collector, as a a Byrne, like check the box for John Byrne. I think the bottom of this page is great too.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, he's throwing the street at him. I mean,
Right.
I knew that. That's your panel right there.
Absolutely. Plus, there's action. Like,
Right.
it's
Oh,
an
yeah.
FF book. There's not going to be a ton of like, slam bang, whatever, especially during Byrne's run. It was pretty talky.
It is. It definitely is. But either way, I think it's. I love it. I love this too. And whenever these pages come up for sale, I always look at them. I don't think I'll ever buy one, even though I have a non-character
Yep.
early page, but yeah, it's just very nostalgic. I was like really thrilled when Byrne was doing his run on Fantastic Four. I couldn't wait for those issues to come out. I felt like every book got better than the last one, and it was just amazing. I mean, it's I can't think of a run of books where I was that excited to see them come out. I couldn't wait to see what the cover was going to be.
Yeah.
Buying them off the stands, and so yeah, I love this. And my last piece is one I guess you know a little bit about.
I do.
Chuck Arnold has this ambush bug cover by Giffen, and yeah, I just love this image. I thought it was fantastic, and then then you got mentioned in it, so I just thought it was a deserving pick to end the show with, because yeah. Chuck said he's been looking for the right Giffen piece for a long time, and there's a lot of great Giffen artwork out there. You can pick up stuff just to have an example in your collection for really affordable price. But he just talked about how Ambush Bug was like, if he could go with anything, it would be that, for the comedy and the material and the character. And so what was your role in this one?
Well, he and I talked circles around like which Giffen, which period, which style, which whatever, because to your point, he was very prolific, right? But he also has several very distinct styles. So it was kind of like, well, it's not even by era, it's really by title, by character, by like whatever, because he was very versatile. And yeah, to Chuck's point, like we talked about Trencher, we talked about Legion, which Legion run, we talked about Ambush Bug, we talked about, like kind of talk the Heckler, like all that stuff. And like, well, what would it be? What would it be? And then, he had mentioned like Ambush Bug. And this piece came into my hands, and I thought, you know what? I got two Giffen Legion pages at the same time, and I thought, I'm very good with these. This is what I wanted. I don't need this Ambush Bug page or this Ambush Bug cover. And so I thought, well, I'm gonna see if Chuck wants it, and he did.
Well, congrats, Chuck, for picking this up. And I mean, I guess it checks the box, right? I mean, this is such a nice piece. You could say, it could be a one and done unless something better comes along. But
I bet it will be. I bet it will be.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you got two Legion pages.
Two Legion pages.
That's not one, but two.
Yeah.
What I forget now. Which run was that though? Was it
the 5 year later?
5 year later.
I got some Jason Pearson action.
That's right. Okay. No, yeah. Well, he did. Okay.
Giffen layouts and Pearson finishes.
Mm-hmm.
So
very cool.
Yeah.
And Chuck did agree with. He said one and done.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, good. Well, we did it. We made it. It's a little late than usual, everybody.
Not
Sorry for keeping everybody up. But no, we did all right. We had a long segment.
Hey, I gotta know what Big Phil is using for a camera.
He actually uses
like was sitting right in front of me.
I know, isn't that weird? I mean, it's a DSLR camera.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's Kazar. I think remembers, because I think that we looked into it once, but they're not cheap. They're like $4,000. Yeah, I think it's a Sony.
Nobody wants to see me in that kind of resolution.
I know, isn't that crazy? Because I mean, I think I have a decent resolution on my camera, but I looked blurry
compared
next to Phil, and I don't get it, because you can see his internet blipped a few times, so it's not like he has like the strongest, fastest internet to get a crisp image. It's the camera, which is shocking that, I mean, I don't have the best camera here, but I mean, I think I have an okay one. But even when I use that DSLR camera that we always had problems with, it was never, I mean, Phil's always made mine look like shit still.
That looked great.
Even when I was using $1,000 camera. So I don't know. We should probably find out and see, but no, nobody wants to see. No. Anyway.
Mark's beard is a mess.
Right, exactly. Man. So, all right. Well, listen, I'm going to be gone for a week. You have fun, your week off.
We'll do.
You'll get the whole San Diego recap.
Yeah, send me some pictures if you see anything. You'll see so much cool shit. Send me some pictures.
I will. I'll be like, I wish you were here when I'm drinking a beer at Disney. When I'm drinking, so you got to tell me that whatever a stout
I will
place,
text
right?
you. I will text you. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that sounds like fun, right up my alley. All right, cool. Well, have a good one, man.
You too. Peace.
See ya. All right, everybody. So thank you for hanging out with us this evening. Marcus says will I bring calf swag for us? I wasn't planning on bringing any calf swag. I don't have a lot of calf swag. I probably have some stickers and things. I don't know. I might have something like that. I know you always bring stickers to San Diego, Marcus. So maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, I do have some. I haven't packed the darn thing yet, so I do have a lot of work to do before my 7 a.m. flight on Saturday. But I am looking forward to hanging out with Jiggy and JP and Roy at Disney. That'll be fun. So I guess I'll have a day off on Monday, which will be good because everything will get hectic after that. As always, I'm trying, well, a lot of the other things we could have spoken about this evening, but we can save that stuff for later or never. But we'll see. But there were a lot of other things that went on last week. IC3 was fantastic, and I hope everybody who made it out there. I know Newell had a great time. I really enjoyed myself at that show. It was a lot of fun, and it's definitely something for us to build off of. Kazra worked his tail off on pulling that thing together, and deserves all the credit on the IC3 side of the show. It was. Shows aren't easy to pull together, and it seems like it should only take a couple weeks, but those things take 3 or 4 months of planning, and it came off really, really well. So kudos to him for that. Beyond all that, yeah, I'll keep everybody posted. If I have anything interesting to share, I'll probably do it off my Facebook page. But I did tell Sardo that anything art related that goes on, I will send him material. So if you're not going to San Diego, definitely follow our socials. I'm sure Kazra and I will be updating them through him, throughout the time we're away. And if you are going to San Diego, stop by DeTulio's booth or Berkey's booth. That's where you'll probably find Kazra and I most of the show. Kazra will probably be walking around most of the show, so you might not find him there. He always has a long checklist, but if you can, definitely say hi. Those of you who need to pick up art, and I think I have about 10 deliveries to make. Just if you want to, shoot me an email, and I can give you my phone number, so you can always text me, and we can time some meetups and everything for those. But everyone else, have a great week off. We'll see you again the week after next. But don't forget about the interview with Mr. Matt Allison done by Matt Sardo next Wednesday. What is Matt's booth number? It is 4400, Wayne. He is in the corner. I could be wrong. It might be like 4401, but I think it is 4400 because Berkey is like 4402 and 04. I'm pretty sure, and he's in between us and Comic Connect. I think it's on the other end cap. So 4400 is the aisle. Number one Marvel fan. I'm sorry. You got the one show, and there's always reruns. All right, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your evening, and we'll see you again real soon. Good night.